I'm sharp like a knife. Small time streamer, no fame, no crown, but my voice is my own, I won't back down. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, hear the truth that I bring. No big shadow shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small town streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small town dreamer with a voice that's enough. Got a webcam flicker and a beat in my chest. Bass takes in my veins, spilling facts is my quest. I'm breaking the mold, no mainstream appeal. Just a kid with a dream and a heart made of steel. I sift through the data, the left and the right. No bias, no agenda, just seeking the light. They laugh at my setup, my low res stream, but my words cut deeper than the corporate screen. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, hear the truth that I bring. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough. I'm the spark in the dark, the glitch in the code. Carving my lane on this uncharted road. Million subs, no viral fame, but I'm owning the truth and I'm changing the game. I'll scream till my lungs give out, till the signal's dead. Every word that I speak is the blood that I bled. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough.
Yo, Wagon Burner, I swear I actually had the I was gonna type a longer thing than hey, but I was trying to micromanage back here. Hey, Wagon Burner, I'm actually gonna use one of those articles you sent me, that you messaged me about tonight. So we will take a look at some of those. Wagon Burner, who I follow on Twitter, good dude, covers mostly like entertainment, and actually I don't even know if it's entertainment. You have politics on your Twitter account too. Just recently started writing some articles. So when we get to the Brown Dust segment, we're going to be covering one of Wagon Burner's articles on stream here. So, it's true, the beard's under control. Yes, the beard is under control. Sorry, I forgot I had the cap on backwards. I'm too old for that shit. Yeah, no, it'll fill back in. We're not going to be going full on Viking. We're going to be going more of a respectable length, only because, my God, I've got baseball, softball season starting up here in about a month and a half, and I'm supposed to be an assistant coach on one of the kids' teams. I have no idea which team it's going to be on. Hoping softball. I don't like coaching boys baseball. Those kids are animals. They're just too much to control. So softball's fun. The girls have the right balance of intensity and lightheartedness, whereas the boys are all like hard ass, like super serious, way too intense. It's, yeah, trying to coach boys versus girls is like, it's literally night and day. I just started, I should try cricket. Cricket for phones? Why should I try Cricket? I use Xfinity for my phone. It's basically they piggyback off of Verizon, so I have Verizon cell towers. Anyways, guys, happy Monday. Let's go ahead and do a little round of applause here for DB Wild once again. Hopefully this isn't too loud. That's not too terrible. But again, if you like the intro song, go check out DB Wild's YouTube channel. He's got some good AI stuff on there. It's stuff that I wish I could get into. Unfortunately, even with being creative, I don't have a whole lot of time to put pen to paper and mess around with AI music and all that good stuff. Oh, cricket, famous sport from England. Yeah, cricket. Yeah, you hit the ball with like the flat wooden bat, right? Yeah, I've never thought about playing cricket. Never thought about getting into it. I don't know. It's kind of like golf. Golf is really big, especially in my state over here in Washington. I mean, people play it in all weathers. Even when it's pouring down rain, people will go play golf here. But not something that I ever really got into. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a popular sport all over parts of the world. I just never really got into it. It's very un-American, yeah. And not just because it's not a contact sport. I mean, there's plenty of American sports. Baseball. Baseball, they say, is as American as apple pie, right? Baseball is the American sport. But when it comes down to it, there's still a certain intensity you get with baseball. And that, the benches clearing brawls and stuff when they run out of the dugouts and beat the crap out of each other. Those are always great. Whole new intro video for Philip Chan's Coomcast show. Used Grok to make a fully animated one. Dude, you were getting fancy with that stuff, man. He'll use it for this upcoming winter show. Yeah, it's the problem with Philip Chan is I think we're on the same time zone, and I'm always busy or streaming or making a video when he streams. So it's very funny that America has its own cricket club. I mean, there are it's like not badminton. What am I thinking of? Lacrosse. Does anybody here know anybody in real life who plays lacrosse? I don't. There are kids practicing lacrosse on some of like the soccer fields at one of the places that my daughter's softball teams typically practice. And it's like you see these kids playing lacrosse. It's basically hockey and soccer mixed together, but there's not really any contact. It's the weirdest thing. It's the strangest thing. I don't know. Never heard about lacrosse? Dude. We tend to stream at the exact same times. Well, I was looking back at my streams the last week and a half, and actually I streamed this last week on a Saturday, a Tuesday, and then a Friday. It was very weird. And boulders and wickets? Yeah, no. Imagine playing kabaddi? I have no idea what that is. All right, so there's actually a bunch of stuff to cover tonight, a lot to get into. So I am going to jump into the few snippets that I've found that are kind of funny, haha moments, nothing too serious. Kabaddi? Lacrosse is based off the Native American game. Oh, interesting. Because lacrosse looks like field hockey for rich kids. Like, I'm not even going to lie. It looks like Richie Riches didn't want their kids to get hurt in some contact sport, so they play lacrosse instead. It's the funniest looking thing. That's on Saturday. Project Egg Roll. I knew that he did Project Egg Roll. I didn't know that it was a co-stream. So interesting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that one. Unplugged the mic and plugged it back in before the stream started, but then I remembered the last time I did that, very last time that I had to do the, unplug and replug it back in, it was like halfway through the stream and I'd already done that before the stream started. So I figured we're just going to, go with the way things are and not do that. Turns out I should have unplugged it before the stream started. I freaking hate Windows, guys. I despise Windows. If I ever build another computer, well, I will build another computer at some point. I'm going to try to do Linux because I do not want to go with Windows anymore. Yo, Geek. Clancy, how are you doing, guys? I thought I'd gone deaf. No, man, if you ever... I'm pretty quick to catch it. All you have to do is type mute in the chat. And then I'll unplug it and replug it back in. Never saw the appeal of Avatar. Story sucked. Dude. Good thing that Empress is not here right now. She would be livid if you said it. Dude, I don't get it. I don't understand the appeal of Avatar. I watched the first movie. I thought first movie was entertaining. Thought it was fine. Thought it was good. Whatever. Hey, Cage. Greatest game ever. Lacrosse? Really? Hey, I look at the chat all the time. Here's the thing. The only time that I don't read chat is if I'm really like on a tangent where I don't want to get distracted. But no, I read chat. I just might not say anything. But I'm always watching. You know I'm always watching. I wouldn't have a reason to be here if you guys weren't talking. I'd just be sitting here talking myself, which I can do, off stream. Do it now because all AI data centers will make it impossible. Hans, honestly, I know. And my computer, I've upgraded enough over the last year and a half that my computer's set for a few years. And my kid's computer and my wife's computer are both fine. No reason to upgrade them for what they use them for. So I don't feel like going out and buying extra. So Black Friday, Newegg had a bunch of like 5060 Ti's, 5070s, things that are decent graphics cards on sale, like for really decent prices. But of course, all the freaking bots went and grabbed all of them Black Friday morning. They were doing like the Cyber Monday deals the whole week. Every morning, 9 o'clock my time, there was a new deal. You try to get on Newegg at 9 minutes and 5, or at 9 o'clock and 5 seconds, and you couldn't get them. They were all out of stock. It was the craziest thing. Avatar 3 has a copy and paste story. Well, what I've heard from people is Avatar is like one of those things where you have to understand the story, the spirituality. Latest Avatar is so retarded. Kids are act like TikTokers. Yo, bro. Okay, that's the thing about Prey that took me out of it. All right, that's what really took me out of it, because a lot of people with Prey were like, "Oh, Prey is the best Predator movie since Predator 2." The Native American Comanches act like LA college students. They don't act like actual Native Americans would have back in the 1800s when the movie is set. It's so stupid. Want a better vid card, but this brush makes it so difficult. Had to cope with 3060 on. Honestly, I was looking at Facebook Marketplace, not for graphics cards or stuff, but because I follow computer stuff on Facebook, I was seeing a lot of stuff in the Facebook Marketplace. Avatar movies or tech demos. Hey, Black Cat, you're not wrong there, in my opinion. He's always watching, yeah. Only reason you'll watch Avatar movies to see CG aliens. I mean, for some people. But yeah, so I was actually looking into it. So what I have is a 9060 XT. I've got the 16 gig version. It was worth it for the $50 extra. So I picked that up, and that's going to hold me over for probably a few years now. I would have a much bigger need for a new CPU than I would with a GPU moving forward for a while. My other two computers, my wife's computer, my kid's computer, both have 4060s, but they're the 8 gig versions. Both computers have 32 gigs of RAM. They'll be okay for a while. It's just, they all talk like California Kardashians. Yeah, that was what I hated about Prey. More than how stupid the plot was, and the CG was really off. Like the animals, the bear that he ends up fighting, all this other shit looked really terrible. Watch Archcast's video essay on Avatar. It's something like humanity has done nothing wrong. It's good. Oh, interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. Yeah, I know Archcast is mostly Warhammer, but I know he does other stuff too. It's nearly the same as Avatar 2. If you miss one, you could watch the other and vice versa. Interesting. Oh, yeah, no, new technology is always expensive when it comes out. Unfortunately, recently, with all these AI data centers popping up, buying up all the RAM with, Crucial, exiting the retail market. It's insane. The prices that you're seeing RAMs and GPUs right now just continue to skyrocket is insane. Anyone else find the Smurf cat people off-putting? There's a lot of Rule 34 stuff with the Avatar aliens. I don't hate them or love them. I prefer if I was going to go full-on interspecies hanky-panky, it would be with the Twi'lek girls off of Star Wars with the blue head tails. It would not be these 9.5 foot tall Avatar chicks, Badlands tomorrow. Hopefully it's watchable. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I heard a lot of crappy things about Badlands Geek. But again, I just personally hated Prey. I thought Prey was ass. Everyone's like, it's critically acclaimed. I'm like, I don't care. I don't watch movies for what a critic likes. I watch a movie for what I like, and I thought Prey was garbage. Avatar species like furry. Yeah, a little bit. All right. So it says making horrible t-shirts day 207. Oh my god. No! Avatar! Oh my god. Yes, I need this shirt. I need this shirt like tomorrow. So bad. No, I'm not talking about the Rule 34. I'm talking about the actual the species. They don't freak me out, but I'm not like horny for them, is what I'm saying. It's a Ubisoft Avatar game, right? I mean, I think we all need one of these shirts. We all have one of those days, right? All right, so let me see what I have lined up. There's some quick topics to discuss, and then we can get into, like, I've got 4 decently, not super long topics, but we actually have 4 things to try to get through tonight. So we'll try to get through each one as quickly as possible. All right, so first thing I've got for you guys here, Dino Blade is an action RPG where you're a Spinosaurus with a massive greatsword. I know there's a lot of indie gamers out there. I know nothing about this. It's apparently a game that's, I would assume, coming out this year. Let me check what Niche Gamer says. Their dinosaur action RPG where you're a Spinosaurus wielding a massive greatsword. Why would you want to play a Spinosaurus with a sword? Why wouldn't you play like something that had 2 arms and 2 legs rather than walking on all 4s? Oh my god. Okay, this might actually be interesting. Hang on. So there's a little clip of it right here. Dude, it's all dinosaurs fighting with weapons. What the hell was that? Dude, it's like, It's like a freaking, I don't want to say Souls-like. Please don't make me say Souls-like. But it's like a Souls-like with dinosaurs with freaking swords. Stegosaurus sword should be a bunch of his back blades as a blade. That'd be really cool. Could be pretty bad. I mean, it legit could be awful. There's a lot of, like, there's some gems with indie games, and then there's a lot of things that we've seen that are just straight-up asset flips, right? Dino Souls-like, oh my god, somebody needs to save that. That is fantastic. Would you be okay with one of the Navi shoving their weird hair braid in the back door? Oh my god. I don't even want to think about that. No. You played a demo of Dino Blade? It's cool. Yeah, get this Dino game. Have you seen the Target t-shirt? Dump him. I did. I saw something about that. Yes, Cage, we have topics from time to time. My god, man. Stopped doing acid like 23 years ago. Yeah, I don't want the hair braid going in places where the sun don't shine. But yeah, I mean, this could be interesting. In fact, let me see. Is there a full trailer for this on YouTube? Or okay, so it's 52 seconds. That's not much longer, but let me see if there's anything that we actually missed. I mean, I'm kind of getting Yasuke Simulator vibes. You remember that one, right? That came out right before Assassin's Creed Shadows did. Where executives this avatar did. Oh man, I have that tweet pulled up. Let me see here. So speaking of asset flips and dinos and all that fun stuff, I don't know if you guys have checked the Metacritic score recently for Code Violet, but it has actually dropped under 40 on the critic score. It's all the way down to 38, and for the user score, it's down to 2.7. This is freaking amazing, man. Monster Hunter vibes, maybe. It's kind of new, at least. Doesn't mean it's good. 100%. So the thing about it is, a lot of people do this when they see a new game. I mean, okay, I'm going to be fair talking about Code Violet. I said Code Violet looks like shit from the minute I saw gameplay, the trailer, all that, the very stiff movement, the hyper-focused like character model where it's fixated on her butt, but not in the same, let's just say, satisfying way that you would from a game like Stellar Blade. So right away, I'm like, dude, this game's going to be crap, right? Oh, thanks, Wagon Burner. I wish I'd have had more time to record it, but it was like 10:40 by the time I got done editing, and I'm like, I don't have time to go through and script anything and re-record anything, so I just pieced it together the best I could. My initial reaction to Code Violet was accurate. Yeah, DB. I mean, you remember I said it looked like shit. I straight up said the game looks like shit. And there were people like Jay Viper and a bunch of other people who would be on quote unquote my side of the aisle, my side of things. Stream Code Violet. I can't. It's not on PC. Cage, think about it, man. It's only on PlayStation. So anyways, there were people that were trying to say, oh, this looks like it could be good. In fact, I'm sure if you go back and look at the usual suspects like Grums and a lot of other people, they probably were hyping that game up initially before the controversy about the vulgar mods and Steam and all that kind of stuff. People saying how excited they were for that game. From the minute I heard about it, I looked at it, I'm like, this game looks retarded. Looks terrible. Like, well, I don't understand why anybody would try to hype that thing up. Cage wants me to suffer, yeah. Now, my side was great. That game was awesome. Mahendra, you like pestered me to play that game, and actually I was really happy with that game. It looked awesome. Hey, Avernum, what time is it there? 5:30 in the morning? Let's see, they could have actually made it good, though. Yeah, but the problem was the gameplay itself, the character model, the animation. If you look at everything, there's like 3 different styles between the art, the concept art for the game, the way the character model looks in cutscenes, and the way the character looks in like the actual gameplay, and none of it gels. The physics are all off. It's incredibly stiff looking. It's just awful. Oh, see, Mahendra's up at a respectable time. Hey, Vernum, he's like, the man doesn't sleep. That's just insane. Looks terrible, has terrible track record. Anyone hyping that was a moron indeed. And I don't want to be calling people morons. I don't want to be saying, oh, you know, you're an idiot if you had high hopes for this game. All I'm going to say is the game, to anybody being objective, looked truly, truly awful. Okay, I don't speak Espanol. This review score here of 0 says que juego tan mal hecho en serio el diseño del niveles. I don't speak Spanish. I don't know what this means. But this one here says this is the most horrible game I've ever played. The animation, the assets, the 30 frames per second with lots of dips. PlayStation exclusive, not because it's quality, but because of the platform's impossible to get a refund from when you discover the truth of the messy game. Be aware and don't waste your money on this thing. This is what a lot of people are pointing out. They didn't want it on Steam because they didn't want to have to deal with Steam's 2-hour return window. Whereas PlayStation is famously hard to actually get a refund from. Holy crap. Poorly made game, bad level design. Bad game, horrible level. Oh, there you go. I know my Spanish is not great. I speak better German than I do Spanish. At least German, I understand most of what I'm saying. I sleep during the day. It's winter. The hell am I going to do in the snow anyways? Ah, snow, man. So in Washington here, unless you're in the mountain areas or down like the valleys where when it gets cold, the snow never goes away. Where I'm at, it just gets wet. We don't get much snow. And even if it does snow, it doesn't stick. Muy bien. Sí, señor. I'll gladly call out the idiots who were salivating over this game. Hey, you know what, DB Wild? Someone's got to do it, man. And the thing was, in a reply under Jay Viper's tweets, he was talking about it, and some guy's like, what the hell are you talking about? This game looks like shit. And I'm like, yeah. The game that didn't want lewd mods while the character's ass obscured half the screen, exactly. But not even in a good, satisfying way. That's my point. It didn't even look good. So that's where we are with that. Pal World getting even ballsier. I love this. This is freaking awesome. Aw. You can understand my Spanish, eh? Muchas gracias, señor.
You're Spanish, lol. I understand you.
No, I did want to learn Italian at one point, though, and thanks to the 5, Luigi. I appreciate you, dude. I did want to learn Italian at one point. Actually, back when we still had cassette tapes, back when we actually had a radio that played cassette tapes, I got this, like, 8 cassette tape set to learn Italian, because I'm like, I'm Italian, I'm a quarter Sicilian, I should learn Italian, right? Never got around to it. But thanks to the 5, dude. Pal World is officially releasing 1.0. Oh, when is that? I'm Hispanic by injecting. Yo, Truth, how's it going, buddy? Apparently it's really bad. You put a review out and you start the game in your undies and you go from the get-go outfit that's basically your ass showing. If the cards are physical, nice. If it's just digital, well, let's see. Is there an article? I don't love using Dexerto because they kind of suck ass, but is getting its own trading card game in 2026. making the jump from survival sandbox to tabletop with a new trading card game launching on July 30th. Shared details on their website. Palworld TCG is designed as a 2-player competitive card game built around the same core ideas. Players will deploy different pals, use their unique traits. But this doesn't mean... Are they saying a physical tabletop card game or tabletop style card game in a video game, like a digital format? Team up with your trusty pals and experience the thrill of overcoming formidable enemies through this exciting trading card game. I think it's going to be a video game. They're getting both physical and digital? Oh, that's awesome. It's a negative 15 Celsius. Oh my god. Yeah, no. Let's play Gwent. Oh god, I love Gwent. So terrible at it. I haven't played Witcher 3 much in a long time, so... apparently it's a physical trading card game. That's awesome. Doesn't want peace. Nah, man, they're going full go, like no stopping. They're like that lesbian sidekick telling the gal drive baby drive. I mean, but in Palworld's case, it seems to be working out for them because honestly, they are still doing okay with that lawsuit. It sounds like they're not giving any ground against Nintendo, so ends up taking off more than Pokey Nuts. Nintendo's gonna grunt out a massive I know you're having a rough time when your kid just died and your shop got destroyed. Want to play Gwent? Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Although, to be fair, Gwent was less complicated, in my opinion, than that game on Kingdom Come Deliverance. What is the... Is it a dice game on Kingdom Come? I think it's a dice game. I like briefly researched how to play it, and I finally started getting the hang of it long before I actually stopped playing the game. Yeah, so it's a dice game. I can't remember the name of the game. I have a way with words. I try to paint a picture. Your pictures are explicit, the ones that you paint, man. Yeah, they got effed in the U.S. Patent Office part of the lawsuit, yeah. Dice game has more rules compared to Gwent. Gwent is more straightforward. Gwent is a lot of fun. It sucks when you start the game because your hand is such crap, right? Now here's one that I found interesting. This is like the biggest case of somebody being down bad because their girlfriend has them by the balls. A game on Steam called Hardest will be deleted by the dev because the girl he has been dating for a month made him realize that AI is bad. Okay, so this says right here in the game description, this game will be deleted on January 30th, I imagine this means. I made this game during the summer in a couple of months and thought to use AI because in university there is so much brainwashing on students and all the tools are given for free so I could generate unlimited images for free and so on. But I have realized the AI is not actually free and has a major effect on the economy and environment. So does turning on your light switch, so does playing a computer game, so does making a sandwich, washing your dishes, using your water heater. Everything has some effect. This is retarded coping. Some AI companies can use this game just existing as a reason. They get more investment for their... This guy also needs to learn how to type. Maybe he's not a native English speaker and he used an auto-translator or something. Get more investment for their AI companies that benefit no one, but rather suck resources from the economy from hardworking people. I coded everything myself, so I can in the future make a new game with real assets if I feel like it. Well, he did the coding himself, then... What the hell, man? But the game existing in its current form is a disgrace to all game makers and players. Ethically, only logical reason is to delete the game from Steam. The girl I've been dating for a month made me realize this. Thank you, Eero Lane. Like, what the hell, man? So just getting the clap, it burns. I'd dump that bitch. This game had a peak player count of 4. If I could trade that in for puss, I'd do it too. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, unfortunately for him, no respect, but I could understand that. That's true. Hey, Korean Cowboy, who says the girl I've been dating for a month made me realize this. Nobody types like this. That's weird, right? It's a strange story. It's a strange story. At least one less terrible game on Steam. True. I mean, you're not wrong there. Man, even if he gets a blowjob for it, it's still not enough. Hey, Stream Hub World over on Kick. Hey, we actually have a real person on Kick tonight, guys. It's incredible. Now, I don't even know if the Odyssey stream is going. I scrapped it. The minute it said it couldn't reset the stream and actually get it going, I'm like, I'm done with Odyssey. I'm still going to upload my content on Odyssey, but I probably won't try to live stream there anymore. It gives me nothing but problems. I think in the past 5 live streams, I've actually only had one on Odyssey that actually took and actually went live. It's the craziest thing. Yeah, no, he absolutely better get something out of this. It's like a dude saying he's going vegan to score some. I mean, it would depend on how hot the chick was, right? I wish Odyssey and Rumble were better technically. Rumble has a lot of its downsides, right? But to be fair, I opt to use the dynamic stream key for Rumble. So all I have to do before my stream is I go and I set up the stream, and then I put the stream key over on Streamlabs, and then I just go to the live stream and I pull the chat box open, and I've got the chat box over here. What I do wish is that Rumble had integration built into Streamlabs, so that way I could actually have all of my alerts and all my notification sounds work for all the places I stream to, because unfortunately, Rumble is not cohesive with like the major streaming software companies. Like Streamlabs is super progressive, and Rumble is kind of seen as like this toxic Nazi alt-right refuge. So I don't see Rumble getting integrated into Streamlabs anytime soon, which sucks. It really sucks. It's always how hot the chick is. I see you over there, Equilibrium. You shifted back over to Kick. It's a male feminist, 100%. Look at the posturing about the environmental effects of AI. Yeah. As he's working on a computer game. Now, you could make the argument about art, about developers losing their jobs. You can make any argument about AI you want to. But to say it hurts the environment, it's like, dude, everything in the games industry hurts the environment. What are you talking about? Here was a fun one that I saw. Somebody showed that the Cyberpunk devs, this is from Dexerto, addressed why Male V disappeared from the game's marketing. Male V, and this is from the devs at Cyberpunk I imagine at CD Projekt Red, said Male V had the whole base game marketing for himself. For Phantom Liberty, we decided to switch it up one game for each V. So Rock Solid says 67% of players played Male V. Male V completely removed from the game cover since 2023. Fortnite Cyberpunk 2077 collab only had female V. All the promotional material heavily favors female V. Something's not adding up here, which is weird, especially when it shows that 67.5% of guys chose to a relationship with Pan Am. And I imagine this is a character you have to be a guy to hook up with. I didn't play Cyberpunk. Somebody have to tell me. So, Cage, AI affecting the environment would just go along the lines of the data centers propping up are going to create even more emissions and suck even more electricity, and that's going to have repercussions on the environment long term. Now, I even saw the argument somebody made. This was crazy. This I mocked into oblivion. Somebody said that AI was actually racist because the environmental effects from AI, from these data centers, is worse in black communities than it is in white. And I'm not even kidding. Oh, so she only works with male V. Interesting. Very interesting. First game had both V's marketing. Sure, the male V was shown more. DLC had 100% all-female V. They went retarded. Well, that's around the same time that people started noticing that CD Projekt Red had that girls-only internship because for some weird reason, game developing being a male-dominated industry is somehow bad. And again, that goes back to I'm the first person to say there's nothing wrong with a woman developer or a male developer. It doesn't matter. Your gender as a developer doesn't matter. What matters is your ability to do your job. The problem is when people start seeing it as, well, it's bad if we don't have female developers. That'd be like me saying, well, why are women better at service industry jobs? Why do women tend to be in customer service roles over men? Because they tend to have more agreeable personalities. They're suited for different jobs with different skill sets than men are. Same thing as AC Odyssey players picked male version Lexios over Cassandra. Well, Cassandra was played by I don't want to say it, but the actress who played Cassandra, as I recall, was a complete twat waffle. I always create a Lilith, so female V when I start Cyberpunk, which means Judy will be my lesbo lover. I'm getting pretty good at deciphering what you're typing with your blind ass over there, Cage. I'm getting pretty decent at it. Let me see. Only thing about AI that hurts the environment is all the power stations. Exactly. And again, it all goes back to the same thing. Whether it's AI or whether it's something else related to computers and development, it's all the same, right? What about the mining of resources to build a circuit board? How's that for the environment? I mean, none of it's great for the environment. Like, come on. That's why Witcher 4 is probably DOA. You know, Geekhazu, I am willing to be pleasantly surprised. What I'm worried about is the story itself. Like I said, the weirdest thing is that when they went from the end of Witcher 3 and they say, well, she's a Witcher now. Okay, that's fine. But she didn't give up her powers to be the Witcher at the end of Witcher 3. She's going to go do the job of a Witcher, but she's got her whole toolkit with her, right? All of her mystical, supernatural powers she's got. What? So now in The Witcher 4, she gave all that up to be a boring-ass Witcher? So she's the female Geralt. So, you know, that's the problem. That's my concern about it, you know? Get those women in them minds. I mean, that's that Netflix, what is it, a Netflix show, documentary, whatever, about a transgender coal miner? I think it's Pedro Pascal's brother sister thing that's playing the character, in fact, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think you need to give incentives and privileges to women for jobs. It already creates dissent. Well, it certainly creates the perception that you don't deserve to be there on merit alone. That's the problem. Well, now I know the ending. Well, you what? You never played Witcher 3? Oh, come on, man. You never played it? That game is so old at this point. I can't help you there, Cage. Deleted by a moderator. Deleted by a moderator on Kick? I don't got no moderators on Kick. What are you talking about? Hell, I was thinking about modding you on Kick because I don't ever have anybody else on Kick. That's crazy. Zero hype for Witcher 4. Just hoping Dawn Walker and Crimson Desert are good. Crimson Desert, I'm curious about. I'm very curious because I know that it had a game that came before. What was it, Black Desert? And Crimson Desert seems to be very ambitious. What concerns me is the scope and size of the game itself. Like the scale of the game, it's supposed to be like twice as large as the biggest map on a game ever created, right? Like insane. Well, Equilibrium, I don't even know. Maybe it's my moderation settings on Kick, but honestly, I don't ever mess with that crap on there because I don't use Kick for other than streaming, obviously. I just don't think about it, you know? What else we got? Oh, this is what you guys were mentioning earlier. According to a Ubisoft game producer, Assassin's Creed Mirage and Assassin's Creed Shadows are quadruple A games. Now, you guys remember when they were calling Legendary Drops as quadruple A, where did our money go? You guys remember when they were calling Skull and Bones a quadruple A game, right? So I put this on there as a response to LD here. And I said, never forget that Skull and Bones was the first quadruple A game. This is a game that they practically begged people to play, that they gave away for free. And after they finally launched it on Steam and heavily discounted it, I think it was like 75% off at one point, they still can only get a couple hundred people playing it at one point. That's it. Ubisoft game producer opinion disregarded, exactly. Crimson Desert has my gamer vein tingling. Everything I've seen about it looks very it looks cool. Not gonna lie, it looks cool. Couldn't play Witcher 3 because your English wasn't strong enough. That's ironic because it's made by a bunch of Polish people. But I get what you're saying. Hey, Oblivion. I didn't like any of the romance options in Cyberpunk. I have a feeling one of the males may have been better. Did you play a woman? Was that why? Someone told me Ciri's going through mutations for some vague sentimental notion of freedom is disrespectful for Geralt as a father. I think that's exactly what writers like and approve of. Yeah, I mean, think about it. That's one of those things that always bothered me. Geralt was protective of her, and you know, the entire third game is like everyone's hunting for her, and it's a heavy part of like the show that turned to shit. I mean, the first season of the show was decent. Second season was okay because it was still Henry Cavill, and by the third season they were just shipping it in. They were phoning in those performances. But the premise of the games heavily relies on the storyline where you're trying to protect Ciri from all the big bads who are trying to come get her and protect her from herself and the Wild Hunt. And then it's like, okay, now that we've protected you for all this long, it's going to be, oh yeah, you can F around and do whatever you want to. Take the mutations, they might kill you. It's not that big of a deal. Cool, no biggie, no worries, you know. Skull and Bones is half the reason that they're in the situation they're in now, 100%. They called, what was that, Star Wars, no, they didn't call that one quadruple A. Star Wars Outlaws, I don't think they called quadruple A. I mean, they might have. They actually might have. That Avernum, I'm giving it like a decent being like 6 out of 10. I'm saying decent because it still had Henry Cavill as Geralt. Okay, that was it. that's why I'm saying decent. When I say decent, I'm talking about palatable. Something that I could watch without being like, okay, this is dog shit. Decade-old Nescafe had better armor. Fair. Quadruple A, what the hell is going on with their stock price? Oh god, I haven't even looked at the stock price for Ubisoft in a while because nobody's been talking about Ubisoft ever since all their games that came out the last couple of years. But their stock price is down 92.5% in the past 5 years. This is insane. And that's not one of those things you can just blame on the stock market being bad all the way around. Which ones did I say they called AAA? Shadows and Mirage. Knob helmets with feathers. Wait, they did call it a quadruple A up until release? Oh my god. Saddens me that till this day how bad Skull and Bones was. Well, here's the thing. Skull and Bones, people thought was going to be the successor, not just like a spiritual successor in theory, like in vague terminology. People expected Ubisoft. You kind of went away from the regular formula with Black Flag, but it turned out incredible. Maybe you can give us a pirate game that's not Assassin's Creed that's even better, or at least as good as, Black Flag. And instead what we got was Skull and Bones, where you board ships and don't ever fight anybody. You have no hand-to-hand fighting on land. It's just steer the ship, shoot the ship, that's it. Mirage especially is so outrageous and dumb to call it when it's a spin-off work by their own admission, barely AAA. I haven't played Black Flag in a while, I need to. Just play Sea of Thieves. Korean Cowboy, you're not wrong. Sea of Thieves is legit fun. Like, I got into it for a little while with my buddies, the same ones I play like Call of Duty and stuff with. I haven't played it in years, but if you enjoy those kind of games, Sea of Thieves is fantastic. It is a fantastic game. You have to be okay with the art style. It's a little cartoony, a little goofy looking, but once you get past that, if that's not an aversion that you have, the game is solid. Like, Sea of Thieves is truly a solid, like, really fun experience. Another little bit of news, not worth really looking into. Nintendo President Shintaro Furukawa, I think is how you say it, was asked about the potential of a Switch 2 price increase. Says, I cannot comment on hypotheticals. I would say it's not a hypothetical because it's a definite, Wait, they started working on Skull and Bones after polling people about the Black Flag sailing mechanics? Oh, interesting. Crepes, the yummy Pirates of the Caribbean game that wasn't Pirates of the Caribbean made by Bethesda way back was better than Skull and Bones. What was that game? What was the name of that game? I can't remember. Switch 2 should increase their price to 1,000. Why not make it 2,000? Why not make it 10,000? Make it something so only like the top of the top of the top of 1% of the world can buy it, Not imagining things. Do they call multiple upcoming games quadruple A at the time? I thought the CEO said something broadly like you have to pay more because we were making quadruple A. Well, so what they said was they called Skull and Bones. Before I was even recording mini videos, before Gamergate 2 kicked off, before Sweet Baby Inc., I was writing a few articles and making videos on it for Fandom Pulse. And I remember writing one of my first articles was about how Ubisoft was calling Skull and Bones quadruple A. And that was like the beginning of the end for them, because once they made that declaration that Skull and Bones was quadruple A, and then they started like raising the bar higher and higher and higher for themselves, they got to a point where they couldn't justify how bad their games were when they tried to say, well, these are a certain quality that you're not going to get anywhere else. But it's like, but dude, you're not delivering the quality that you're promising us, The Steam box is 1,000. Why not all consoles? Guys, the thing about the Steam deck, whatever, not Steam Deck, the Steam Cube, whatever the hell they're calling the Gabe Cube, that was a supposed leak from a retail outlet, but Steam sells all their own hardware in-house. So I'm not quite sure if that was a legit leak or not. Me and my mates wanted to play Sea of Thieves, but at the time it was a Windows Store exclusive. Yeah, no, it was expensive when it first launched. It's crazy how cheap it is now. In fact, it's even on Game Pass, I'm pretty sure now. Never enjoyed sailing the seas so much fun than Sea of Thieves. I would spend hours switching between the 3 different ships just to sail. Dude, honestly, you could play that game solo, or you could play with 3 friends. That was the best thing about it, is you could completely change your playstyle with like whichever ship you were using based on how many people you had in your party. Yeah, it was a fun time. It was a good game. I thought at first my aversion to it was I was like a purist. I'm like, oh, I don't like these cartoony graphics. It looks stupid. It looks childish. And then I played the game. I'm like, all right, it's not a kid's game. It's fun. Probably the Steam Cube price was leaked so high that the $7.99 price doesn't shock. That could be true. That could be true. Bethesda Pirates game was supposed to be Sea Dogs 2, but they wanted to market it along with the movie. Interesting. Oblivion, not for 80 as a multiplayer only game. Yeah, that would definitely keep a lot of people away, I think. That's a very good point. So, last bit of unrelated to any of the topics on the title. Hellblade 3 apparently is Ninja Theory's next game. Project Mara, not currently in development. This is a rumor, but apparently it was an experimental horror game called Project Mara, is just a concept, and it's not a game that's currently being worked on at Ninja Theory. I'm going to have a hot take and my own suspicion about what's going to happen here. I'm going to say that Hellblade 3 is going to perform so poorly that whatever this Project Mara game is never even happens. It will be canceled. I don't know when Hellblade 3 is supposed to come out, but this article here says, with all the rumors surrounding a secret fourth title to be revealed during the Xbox Developer Direct, and that's on the 22nd, I think. Assumed that we'd see Ninja Theory's Project Mara. After all, it matches the description of a smaller-scale original game from a first-party studio that VGC recently reported on. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case, as Windows Central's Jez Corden alleges that Project Mara is not in the works. So I guess Project Mara is... it is Ninja Theory's game. During the Xbox 2 podcast with Randall Thor, 19, Corden alleges that the title announced in 2020 was just a concept. It's not a game that they are currently working... Wait. They announced this Project Mara thing 6 years ago. Sorry. 2026 now. 6 years ago. And it's still just a concept, not a game they're currently working on. This is why game development is so freaking expensive. Holy crap. Milking it like Avatar, no one really cares. Yeah. Probably saw online only and was like, nah, the price would also have put me off. No, Hellblade 2 did terrible. And I'm going to tell you guys, as somebody who has defended Hellblade 1, because Hellblade 1, I think, is a fantastic game. I love the storytelling. I love the horror, suspense elements. I thought the character was really, was a really good character. Not relatable in, I could see myself in her, but, relatable. You understand her struggle and you kind of get it. The story was fantastic. The environment, the setting, it was great, right? The only thing that Hellblade was lacking was combat, but it really wasn't like a combat-heavy game. It was more puzzle, storytelling, horror elements, and combat, Hellblade 2 was dog shit. Hellblade 2 screwed everything up that the first game did right. Could you see yourself in her? Smash was doing one of his, I asked GPT to make this character beautiful thing, and he did one for the chick that plays Senua, in Hellblade. And I'm like, dude, don't do her dirty like that. It's one thing to be like, okay, she's not hot, but she's playing a Celtic, what is it, like the 1400s or some shit like that, being attacked by Vikings, traveling to hell to save her lost love during the Black Plague. It's like, you don't need a hot chick in this game. She looks like a woman, she is a woman, and the character's really good, You thought Hellblade was bad? Do you mean the second one or the first one? I could see myself in her as an interesting phrasing. You know what, guys? Just piss off. First one wasn't that good, but it was AstroTurfed afterwards to be this groundbreaking thing. Black Cat, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But I played it years later. I played it without any hype. I played it on a Halloween stream before I was making YouTube videos, because I saw it on Game Pass. I'm like, I need a creepy, weird game to play on Halloween. And so I played it, and I'm like, this is really good. It was a good game. Yeah, maybe it wasn't the greatest game of all time. Certainly not a Game of the Year contender. But I thought it was a very, very well done game, The nonstop bitches moaning in your head didn't annoy you. Actually, Equilibrium, I didn't get irritated by them. Because I allowed myself, I turned off the lights, I had a dark room and I was playing, and I allowed myself to get immersed in all the sound effects and the horror elements. I really enjoyed the first one. The voices in the second game were a lot more annoying. I found them to be distracting, and because in the first game, they're there to torment you and haunt you. In the second game, it's like, oh, I've made my peace with this, and they're on my side now, and they're giving me clues, and it's like, no. She had that plain Jane Beauty thing going on. My Irish Scottish roots would have zero problem seeing myself in her. See, DB Wild, you get it. You understand. Yeah, the actress, she looks fine. She's not one of these ugly ass, big butch lesbian looking chicks. She just looks like a woman. It's not, I don't know. But during the Xbox 2 podcast, they announced it was just a concept. What's on the cards? Hellblade 3 apparently, and it's reportedly going to be a bit more interactive than Hellblade 1 and 2. Oh boy. They want to make it more of a game and broaden its appeal. This is code for, we didn't make much money on the first game, but we got a Game Pass deal out of it, so we made some money on it, and nobody bought our second game. That's what that's code for. Okay. Oh, you meant the second one? Yeah. No, the voices in the first game didn't bother me at all. The second game, holy shit, they were so annoying. And at the end of the game, it's all this, she runs into this other chief's daughter who took over the tribe when the chief died, and she's like this strong, empowered woman, and literally Senwa's voices in her head are saying how, oh, I wish I could be like her. She's so strong. She's so great. He did it for Poison Ivy from Suicide Squad. Oh, you mean the child Poison Ivy? Yeah. See, here's the thing. I respect the meme that Smash does with the, make her beautiful thing. I totally get it. I respect it. It's funny. It pisses people off. I think it's hilarious. But you also have to know what you're talking about, like what games you're making fun of. Which is why I could never do it, because half the characters in the games he uses, I didn't play the games that are in him, so I wouldn't know anything about him, right? But that being said, using the child reincarnated Poison Ivy from Suicide Squad, I'm like, oof, that one's not going to age well, man. That's not going to go well. I was part of the stream. I was there. Oh, you were Equilibrium. That's right, yeah. It was a failure. Why don't they just give up? Because, Geek, that would send the wrong message, because the second game was... If you guys remember, go back and look at the reviews for Hellblade 2. They said this game was amazing. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Even better than the first one. The journalists were sucking off this game hardcore, and people who played it were like, what are you talking about? The game runs like crap. They said it, it runs like a tech demo. There were some game critics who criticized it because of the way that it ran and said that, there were some problems. The game was shorter and all this kind of stuff. But it definitely was, it was carried by the journalists. Yeah, Xbox owns Ninja Theory, exactly. Too many sequels, yeah. Sounds like the writers started to huff their own farts in the second game. Something changed, man. Something at Ninja Theory definitely changed. So it says here, this very may well be the studio's next project that was allegedly greenlit in May 2024. Project Mara was described as an experimental horror title that explores new ways of storytelling. Oh my god, why? So it was still going to feature Melina Juergens, who played Senwa. It would have offered a real-world and grounded representation of mental terror. While there's no official confirmation on Project Mara's status, Ninja Theory hasn't exactly inundated the world with details since its reveal. Last major update was January 2021, when a developer diary confirmed that the story would unfold in a single apartment. Interesting. Now that game's getting scrapped. Filled Mercante's throat. My god. You don't like because the female protagonist? Well, you praise it for the same reason, journos. And see, that's the thing, Tekla. I'm like, I love the first game, and it had the same protagonist. It was the same actress, same character model, same everything. But everything about the second game was wrong. Everything was off. Everything was different. Everything was just off. All right. So we will now get into the mainstream topics. It's only 10:15. I think we can power through all 4 topics in about an hour and 10 minutes. I think we can do it. The only thing that's going to slow it down is I do have a couple of videos pulled up that we can watch. So we'll see if we can kind of muscle through this here. Reminds me of a new breed of shooter. Dude, anytime they say like a reimagining, modern audience made for modern gamers, anytime they use that phrasing, that terminology, it's gonna like piss me off, dude. So from comicbook.com, Highguard's quiet release is raising some serious concerns. Yeah, exactly. So, and this is an article from today, in fact. So here we are 2 weeks away, guys. Says, hype is the lifeblood of modern gaming. Big studios spend months teasing their next project. Indie developers find clever ways to grab attention, and fans track every snippet of information that provides even the smallest molecule of hype. Without it, games can easily slip under the radar. Dude, there was 25,000 games released on Steam last year alone. It's crazy. Let's see. Players expect a story before the story begins, and silence in this landscape is almost impossible to ignore. Highguard is thus an interesting case rarely seen within the industry. Game is merely weeks away from release, yet it has managed to stay mostly invisible. Its trailer at the Game Awards, meant to excite fans and generate buzz, left many scratching their heads instead. Generally speaking, everything shown was highly uninspired. What should have been a showcase of creativity came off as forgettable. Not unlike the previously failed Concord, a dangerous comparison that many are making online. No, so I'm going to compare Highguard to Splitgate 2. Now, I know Anytime, here's the funny thing, guys. Anytime you talk about Splitgate 2 or Splitgate Arena Reloaded, as they're calling it now after the relaunch, you will get people in your comments saying Splitgate 2 is amazing. Splitgate Arena Reloaded is even better than the first one. People are hating on this game for no reason. You need to try it. It's the best game ever. And it might be. Splitgate 2 might be one of the best first-person shooters to ever exist. I don't know. I'm not downloading the thing. I have got other games to play. But that being said, when you have a free-to-play game that has been out for almost the better part of, 6 months to a year now for Splitgate 2. They pulled it offline, I think back in... It launched in the summer, and they pulled it in the fall. I can't remember. It's been a long time now. The game is free to play. The only thing keeping that game alive, essentially, is microtransactions or investor funding that they are probably running out of at this point. When you have a free-to-play game and it launches and nobody plays it, that's even worse than when you have a game like Concord that's $40 a piece. And you start to lose players. At least those guys that are selling a game for $40, they're making something on that sale, minus transaction fees and whatnot. When you have a game like this, Highguard, that is advertised as another hero arena shooter, also free to play, which means it's going to be relying on those microtransactions coming in to keep feeding the developers, feeding the company, feeding all the development costs, and nobody's interested in it, this is going to be a disaster. Okay, you can't just look at this and compare it to Concord. At least Concord made some money before they refunded everybody and shut down the game. This game, they're not charging anybody anything up front. That's the craziest thing. Highguard's worrying the fact that developers don't realize they're making pure stinkers is bad for the industry. And that's the thing, too, is this has been in development for like 5 years, right? So Luke Stevens looked up a bunch of Highguard's dev socials, and they're not talking about the game either. Okay, well, I'm glad you bring that up because... that is the video that I actually pulled up with Luke Stevens. That's kind of what inspired me to talk about this tonight. However, I do want to point out one thing else that's concerning, and I probably will look into this more after we get done with the stream. I might look into this tomorrow. This person here, Minesweeper, says, after playing today, I can confidently say that this is ass. Now, remember, Highguard's not out yet. However, apparently there was a handful of people invited to test the game, okay? This guy legitimately, you can see on his Steam screenshot here, he played for almost 7 hours today alone. Okay, so he has played the game. 7 hours. For 7 hours in on an arena shooter, you can get a feel for whether or not the game is going to be good. And he says, after playing, this thing's ass. So it's going to be really interesting to see when more people come out and say, yeah, I tried this, it's garbage, how many more people back up these claims. Yeah, no, so the game's not out for another 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks officially from like today or something. But people are testing it, and the game is crap, apparently. The devs are the ones that were fired from Respawn. Dude, I don't know. It says former Respawn, Apex and Titanfall devs. But that could mean anything. These companies are so massive. It's like you could be a dev and have nothing to do with like what we saw in Titanfall 2, like in the main part of the game. You could be like an environment dev. You design that tree over there, that swampy, marshy land over there, We always hope it's good, but yeah, but you know that it's going to, more often than not, a lot of these are going to be duds, right? That's unfortunately the way it works. Yeah, they made some money before they had to give it all back. That being said, here's the thing. Had they not shut Concord down, they could have slowly recouped some of their costs, cut their losses, and then, eventually shut the servers down. But they did the, I would say, honorable thing and gave everyone refunds. That was the one thing Concord's devs did right. Firewalk, giving everyone refunds. I will say that was the one thing they did right. Also, former Concord devs, I believe, yes, there's a couple over there that are Concord devs, I'm pretty sure. No, they didn't have the talent to do so. Fair. All right. So this one's like 12 minutes long from Luke Stevens, says Highguard is missing. I'm just going to go ahead and start playing it. If it's slow, we'll turn up the speed a little bit, and we will try to get through the majority of this as quickly as possible, guys. And of course, we will comment as it seems fitting to.
So I want to talk about Highguard just really quickly because I find this game absolutely baffling. Of course, this was revealed at the Game Awards 2025. Jeff Keighley announced it as the one last thing of the show, the last announcement before they hand out the Game of the Year award. Historically, this is a spot that's reserved for the most awarded and accomplished developers in the industry. In 2024, it's where they revealed Intergalactic Heretic Prophet, which is Naughty Dog's next game, and whether you love or hate Naughty Dog, they are critically acclaimed and they are well known in the industry. So to see this game...
Okay, that's one more of those things. When we were talking about Prey on Twitter, I mean, Wagon Burner, you saw that. Somebody responded to my statement about how with the movie Prey, you know, the actress is fine, nice looking girl, decent actress. The movie was shit. And they're like, this movie was critically acclaimed. What are you talking about? Okay, I don't care if it's critically acclaimed or not. Same video you watched earlier? Oh, cool. I haven't seen this yet.
Highguard revealed in that same spot certainly put a lot of high expectations on it. And when you consider that Jeff also introduced it at the same time as mentioning Titanfall and Apex Legends, it raised the stakes. And
yeah,
maybe
high
this is
bar.
a hot
Very
take,
high
but I
bar
think
there.
The gameplay they showed off looked pretty good. It looked even fun at times.
All right, I'm going to disagree with him there. I remember watching this saying there are some aspects to it that I think could be decent, but saying it looks fun, I don't know. This doesn't look fun to me. And I've played a lot of like hero shooters. I've tried Valorant, I've tried Rainbow Six, I've tried a few other varieties of games, and I've played a lot of Apex Legends. This doesn't look fun. Volume up a little? Yeah. I'll do scotch more.
But I think the overwhelmingly negative reception to the trailer and announcement was paired with its placement within the show, the overhyping of it, and specifically how it was framed as a new breed of shooter, which I just don't really understand. What they showed looks fine or even good at times, but no part of this seems original, at least as far as we can tell. There's
not just not original, it doesn't have any. I mean, people talk about this all the time where with AI, they're not worried about AI replacing real artists because AI doesn't have soul, doesn't have heart, doesn't have character. I feel the same way about Highguard. Nothing about it it feels safe. It feels stale.
speculation that maybe this is a hybrid of like a team-based objective shooter mixed with like MOBA stuff and larger
Luke
maps
Stevens
that
is
you need
totally
mounts for.
milquetoast.
And all that sounds fine and dandy and could be cool, but
Luke Stevens, unlike dude, this is the craziest thing. I've got the same Rumble message 2 streams in a row. Alabama John said he wants to talk to you right now. He's also live on Rumble. Come over when you're free. This guy's got bots spamming people who are live streaming, trying to get them to come to his streams. Dude, that's freaking... This is why nobody will take Rumble seriously. If the only people on the platform are using freaking bots to try to get attention, like, holy shit. No, but Luke Stevens, he'll be the one that'll get invited to an award show. He'll get invited to, like, be on a podcast with somebody like the Mighty Keith kind of guys. Or, you know, Queef Adams or whatever we like to call him. Guys like Asmongold, the ones that have, like, the really spicy takes, don't. Lukewarm Stevens got the same talking points as anyone. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't look fun. It played Valorant, Overwatch 1 and 2, Marvel Rivals, Hell, even Paladins. Highguard's trying so hard to compete in a genre that will never take away the audience. Yeah, exactly. You remember that, Alabama John? Same guy, Purple BTW on Rumble, says, Alabama John wants to talk to you right now. You can tell Alabama John to go fuck right off to Alabama. Thank you very much. No disrespect to Alabama. I love them country boys, but no, dude. Sorry.
Not done a great job
Queef
of communicating
Adams, yes.
that, and it's exacerbated by the fact that they've not communicated literally anything since
it's a
this
bot.
reveal.
And if
on
it's
the
not a
official
bot,
Twitter page, you can actually
then
go
what the
there
hell,
and
man?
see that it's still slated for January 2026, but they've not posted anything since December 11th of 2025. Since the reveal, they've gone radio silent, which initially you might excuse because it was right into the holidays and Christmas. Still, you're launching like a month later. You should.
That is one thing I'll say, but it's really easy to hop on Twitter for 5 minutes and talk about your game that's coming out in literally a month. It's different with like Arc Raiders, where everybody was like, why aren't you guys updating our game? And it's like, y'all, they're all on Christmas break. Alabama John only has 6,000 followers. Interesting.
Probably have
I love country boys.
Or like scheduled posts or something, but
No homo.
There's just nothing. And then January 1st came around, people went back into the office the days following and still nothing. And now it's January 12th when I'm filming this. The game launches 2 weeks from now, 14 days away, and there's still no update whatsoever. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's a few possible explanations for this. On the one hand, they're just gonna announce that the game is canceled. I think that's extremely unlikely. The game is basically done. I don't know why they would do that. 2, the other option is that they've just decided to go with like a guerrilla marketing approach.
SimTard for Borderlands 3.
Go into chat rooms or they post on social media their experience, and it's more of a personal way of marketing games. A lot of indie developers have started doing that, where instead of
Oh yeah, Highguard only has 6,000 followers. Dude, that's the thing. But like scale up. Dude, honestly, that's the thing with the way a lot of big YouTubers get. They start off actually having their own opinions, and then after a while it just becomes whatever the corporate. I'm not going to say the corporate message because these guys are YouTubers. They're not corporate, but they do tend to end up being sellouts. A lot of them do. And so it's the corporate approved message. It's the, yeah, I'm going to criticize this product, but I'm going to do it in a way where I don't want to like trash your game. So I'll sound critical because that's what's good for views. But I'm also going to be like, but you know, it could also get, it's, yeah, the safe option. Exactly.
Partnering with like a big marketing agency.
But yeah,
they go
Highguard
out and
has
sort of
no
guerrilla
organic
market
following.
themselves,
That's
with
the craziest
developers
thing.
doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I thought maybe that's what they're doing here, especially because the corporate marketing for a game like Concord, for example, went so badly. And I will say, I looked up the
Self-informed.
personal
I'm sorry, Tekla.
Instagram and Twitter accounts of about a dozen to 2 dozen different employees working on Highguard, and I can say that they have said nothing about the game. I'm not going to share their names here because many of them have expressed
On the
that
fence
they
reporting,
were
exactly.
harassed and like got targeted with some pretty horrifying messages after the reveal, which, I mean, like, come on, guys. It's a video game. You don't have to like the video game, but going after developers.
Okay, so he's doing the thing that everybody does, and they go, oh, don't go after these people. Don't say mean things. Okay, I agree. It's a video game. Don't send somebody a death threat over a stupid video game. However, the crazy thing about that was I did not see like much of any of that online. I don't know if you guys did or whatever, but a lot of people were like, oh, these Highguard devs are being threatened and this, and it's like, unless they were DMs that didn't get shared, I didn't see much of any of that, like at all, you know? At least not on my Twitter timeline, and I follow a lot of this crap. This is like half of what I follow on Twitter is this kind of shit. So looks like a child's idea. The perfect game has swords, guns, tanks. I bet it has dinosaurs as well. They'll probably put dinosaurs in there at some point as well. After Code Violet tanks, they'll have a Code Violet skin crossover thing.
Developers because you thought it looked mid. Like, what are
yeah,
we
great
doing?
shield claiming
It's
harassment.
insane. So I'm not going to share their names or anything, but I will say that they've posted on social media. They've been active. They've been talking about other games that they're playing right now, but nothing about Highguard whatsoever. It's just radio silent. So that's option number
Right,
2.
Korean Cowboy, exactly.
Dismissed and probably not that likely. The third option is that they're going
Go
the No
get them
Man's Sky
fired.
route of things. They're choosing to let the game speak for itself, and they're not going to try to market it in any sort of
Yeah, I didn't
corporate
see
way
anyone
with
else that was
trailers,
mad, that
with,
cared enough
like,
to be mad about it. That's the thing.
Previews or with
Right, Black
beta
Cat,
tests
exactly.
or anything like that. And they're basically going to go the route of Apex Legends and just drop it on January 26th and hope that people play it and like it. And honestly,
Okay, but you can't compare this to Apex Legends because when Apex Legends first came out, the game was awesome. It was solid. It felt like Titanfall, just set in a new universe. The guns felt good. The movement felt good. The character skins weren't competing with Fortnite. It was a solid... I want to say the first year and a half of Apex Legends was legitimately some of my best time playing online games as far as like online multiplayer shooters and stuff. Apex Legends, that first year and a half to 2 years was solid. And even after they started adding the characters and the video scenes, I still enjoyed some of that with like the character backstories and stuff. But it got to be where it's like, okay, now we have our non-binary character. Now we have our trans character. Now we have our third BIPOC LGBT character. And then it's like, and then every skin, it's like accentuates the fact that one's trans, one's gay. It's like, we don't care. We don't care which of these characters are hooking up behind the scenes. I don't care. It's like my favorite character was Bloodhound, and it's a woman that voiced the character. They don't tell you if it's a man or a woman. And nobody, when the game first came out, went, oh, it's non-binary. It's Bloodhound is wearing a mask. It doesn't matter what the gender is. Who cares? You're shooting each other, right? It was also front-loaded with streamers. Yeah, to be fair, that's true. If anyone sends me death threats, I'll publish. Yeah, dude, I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing 100%. Best movement FPS game he's ever played. Apex used the Source engine, was made by people who already knew the engine like the back of their hands. Yeah.
I kind of get it. Like right now, the odds of the game popping off and having a lot of success are fairly low. I hate to be that guy, but it's just come on. Like
Stutterfest UE5.
So if
yep.
they were to spend millions on marketing, it's probably just burning cash in a fire. So maybe going more of a shadow drop route, even though it's already been announced, but you get what I mean. Maybe going that route is just a cheaper and more.
Yeah, no, they would have been better off not to announce the game at all. Shadow drop it, let people discover it for themselves, and then hopefully good word of mouth will actually, you know, make people want to play your game. Shadow dropping it a month, well, previewing it and a month before you were going to shadow drop it as I mean, it's just weird, right?
Budget conscientious. option.
what they want with Marvel
more of a
Rivals,
responsible
yeah.
option, I would get that. And just to be frank, I think traditional marketing is going to be really hard when it comes to this game.
No, the
especially because
weirdos
the
really hate
current
Marvel
discourse
Rivals.
around
They
it
really want to
is
make
so
it like
negative. I
super
think you could eventually dig yourself out of the hole
LGBTQIA+.
if you showed
It's
a
like,
lot of
yeah.
really impressive stuff. I mean, even now, it's shocking to say, but there's actually some positive buzz about Marathon, for example, because they went away, worked on the game, listened to the feedback, and came back with.
So I'm gonna actually agree with Luke Stevens here. I think Marathon will be better than Code Violet. I think Marathon will be better than Highguard. I'm not gonna play the game. I hate the art style. I hate the aesthetic. I hate how drab it all looks. I hate how weird and boring and like featureless it all looks. I have enough shooter games. This is another extraction game. I love Arc Raiders. I'm not going to buy Marathon. And of course, some of the people behind Marathon are complete weirdos and freaks. That's just kind of how a lot of these are these days. But I would say that right now, despite my criticisms of Marathon, Marathon is setting itself up to be obviously more successful than Splitgate 2, more successful than Highguard. It's not going to be Concord. It is not going to be Concord 2. They're not going to put the game out there and scrap it in 2 weeks. I guarantee. I wouldn't be surprised if Highguard gets canceled. I know Luke Stevens says, "Oh, you know, they're not going to cancel Highguard at this point. That seems unlikely." Why not? Like they legit could just say, "Screw it, we're going to scrap the game." My testes hang fairly low at my age. Highguard's just deal. Weirdos hate everything that's fun. Candy skin they released for Venom almost made me puke. That one was pretty terrifying.
That made the game
that one
look
was
way
pretty
better. And
pretty
so
horrifying.
Now people are actually like, oh, okay, I could actually see the checking this out. I'm interested, and they could get there with Highguard, but there's just not enough
they're not getting there with
time,
Highguard.
You know, they got 2 weeks, and Marathon disappeared for months before coming back with new updates. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to really reclaim that positive energy.
But Marathon got
I
delayed.
just don't see it. So I think the most likely explanation is that they're just going radio silent, and they're going to drop it on the 26th and hope that people like it and play it and connect with it. But
Yeah,
even
to
while
a
I
certain
can
degree,
understand
Korean
that
Cowboy, that's a big part of the
it's just
problem.
going to be incredibly difficult to climb this mountain. As of right now, the Highguard official Twitter account or X account has 6,200 followers. It's gone up by a couple hundred in the last couple of weeks, but it's
That's
right
really
around
terrible.
6,200. Okay, I wanted to see though if the interest in Highguard is at the same level as another game that it's been compared to a lot, which is of course Concord. And Concord actually to this day still has 10,000 followers.
Highguard's testes
on
have not
Twitter
ascended
and
yet.
X. So like the interest there at least seems higher, and I thought maybe that's just because people were interested in like the crapshoot of Concord, and it was like such a dumpster fire that people just wanted to see what was going on with it, so they followed it. But Vikati in my Discord server for Luke Stevens live members on YouTube and Twitch subs, he went and did some digging on the Wayback Machine and actually found this. Missed the stream today, so I'm currently watching the VOD for it, so I don't know if this was discussed further on stream, but I was able to find an August 24th, 2024 snapshot of Concord's Twitter account, where they in fact had more followers just after release than they do now. Here's the screenshot, and if we go to this, you can actually see that even back...
Yeah, he's not kidding. So before Concord was shut down, when it was still an active game and people were starting to realize how terrible the characters looked and all that other crap that, you know, went on with it, it actually had more Twitter followers, but like almost double than what Highguard has right now. That's insane.
Back then, on August 24th, as you can see right here, August 24th, they actually had 11.5 thousand followers. And just as a reminder, that was
Imagine
the
if
day
your game
after
had
the
less
game
buzz than
launched.
Concord.
So the game launched on August 23rd, and then they captured that screenshot the day after. So we're in the same time period, and Concord literally had double the follower counts on X that Highguard does.
That's nuts, dude.
People didn't care about Concord, but like I don't know what words you have to use for the level of don't care for Highguard, because it's half of the level of followers that Concord even had, which is insane. And listen, this is always tricky to talk about for me.
Now, I will say there's a little bit of a caveat, a little bit of nuance to that, because I don't follow every game that I play on Twitter. In fact, I don't think I follow a single game that I play on Twitter. So not having the best social media presence or like social media manager for your game before it launches doesn't necessarily dictate how successful it's going to be, but it definitely does show that I'd be more curious to see like the impressions, like how many people see the posts that Highguard put out, but they're not posting anything. I mean, straight up, they're not posting. They're not. At least Concord was probably using their account up until their launch, and then after launch, I remember seeing post after post after post from the official Concord account. If Highguard's not even using their social media, I mean, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot at this point.
Because there's a lot of like very talented people working on these games. And
Wrong.
nobody should ever deny that. It's why I get so pissed when I hear that people are like harassing the developers working on this. The reason I talk about this stuff is, for one, because it's interesting how games like this that immediately fail the gut check for gamers.
I hate what he just said. And not because it's not entirely true, but I hate the way that it's framed. When a guy like Luke Stevens says there's a lot of very talented people working on these games, that is a like massive overstatement. What he means to say is, or at least what he should mean to say is, there's an ass load of people at a AAA studio working on a game at any given time. Within that ass load of people, you have a small group of very talented people that still know what they're doing. Yeah, in a way he just said that. No, he did. He did. That's why I said it's the corporate approved messaging. There is no way that you can convince me that when they continue to add, look at the when Stuttering Craig put Assassin's Creed Shadows credits on Twitter, and people got so angry. That post, that video that he put on Twitter was probably like, 5 million, 10 million impressions, right? People were so angry over it because the credits for Assassin's Creed Shadows was like an hour and a half long or some shit like that. It was crazy long because it had thousands of people that had to work on the game. But it was like giving credit to anybody and everybody possible that they could. And it's like, this is a video game. Most Hollywood films have credits shorter than this, right? Kind of creative, very careful with their language because they know other studios are watching and must keep being friends with them. Yeah, exactly. Whatever. That's not worth it.
Just like you and me, how do they get greenlit and worked on for years and get like tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars spent on them? I just don't understand how that happens.
Exactly, Wagon
They
Burner.
could bring in so many people who would look at this and just be like, yeah, I don't think the odds of this working are super high, man. I just don't see it. And yet they still get greenlit, and then this type of thing happens and they act surprised. I just find it fascinating as like an artifact of our industry, right? So I like talking about it, and it's an interesting story and it's very dramatic and all that. But it's kind of heartbreaking that so many people will spend years of their lives working on something.
As a lover of all things medieval, gothic, dark ages kind of stuff, fortresses and castles and forts, my biggest problem with a lot of this, if you look at like the map, none of this serves any purpose. Like, okay, obviously these walls are destructible in some of these buildings back here. Walls are destructible. You can get in. Oh, where was that clip at? They showed it right here. That's a stupid cat. Okay, this building right here, and this one over here on the right. These are destructible. You can get in there. There's item power-ups or something in there. But then there's just a lot of wasted space. Like, why is this in a fortress? I got credit on the game for delivering bagels and coffee via DoorDash. Exactly. I like talking about it, but I try not to understand the reasons. Yeah, Joe Darkness, it looks plain. Exactly. It just looks like empty space. It just looks like it's just taking up space. Congrats, you have more followers than Concord. Ouch.
About it, and it's an interesting story, and it's very dramatic and all that. But it's kind of heartbreaking that so many people will spend years of their lives working on something like this that just never stood a chance. But that's why I think it's important to talk about it, because it's not the devs' fault, in my opinion, that this has gone the way it has. This is across the board, it seems to be managerial screw-ups.
Why do they always do this? Why do they always do this? Watch when he destroys the wall and seems to flip the ball. Yeah. Dude, I'm so sick and tired. Yes, corporate mismanagement, people who say we need another live service game, stop making first person, or stop making single story driven games, single person games, make multiplayer games, make a microtransaction shop, make a battle pass, more. Yes, that corporate greed that feeds into it absolutely affects a lot of the decisions that are made behind the games that get greenlit. But I'm so tired of hearing it's not the devs' fault. Stop blaming the devs. The devs are the ones who made the game. Yeah, it's 100% their fault. With what we're looking at, it's their fault. So the resolution tops out at 720p. If we're talking about the game, I have no idea. No clue. If we're talking about my stream, that could be the bitrate because I turned it to a certain setting to try to alleviate those weird pixelation moments that we have later in the stream. The devs are in charge of the vibe check. Thank you. Exactly. Perfect way of putting it.
And broader, like, executive level decisions that have led to this landing the way that it has. I think the reason that the discourse around Highguard is so negative is specifically because of how it was revealed. I think if it was revealed earlier in the show or in the middle of the show, none of this would be happening. It would launch.
That added to the shock value. That added to the level of, that was it, really? People were irritated by that. Nobody went home or was at home watching the live stream of the Game Awards and got angry when that was the final reveal. They didn't smash their TV. They didn't get online and start sending the devs death threats and saying, I hate you. I hope your game, fails and you never work in this industry again. Nobody started doing that because of the placement of that reveal trailer. Okay. It was just bad timing. No, the game looks low res. Okay. Yeah. No, it really does.
There would be like hardly anybody aware of it.
No worries, DB Wild. Thanks for hanging, buddy.
If the game was really good, it would speak for itself. Word of mouth would travel, and then it would find success. But instead, they had to frame it as like the next big thing, a new breed of shooter. And then they get surprised when the feedback is negative and people are like...
He is right. If it was revealed earlier, like 6 to 7 years earlier, then it could have had a better reception. It's a dev that decided on Concord haircuts. Right. Exactly. Like,
are the best way to
I could work as a developer, and a dev could say, or a studio executive could say, make me a live service shooter game.
I love you.
But it's the devs and the artists that are working together that decide what they look like. Should blame on both devs and company. Yeah, I mean, it goes hand in hand, But unfortunately, the ones who are designing the characters, the ones who are making the gameplay, it's not an executive. It's not some guy sitting in a corporate office, saying, I need another, battle pass driven game. It's 100% the devs who make the game. Okay. You can't get it more crystal clear than that. It's like, yes, you can blame, well, the amount of live service games we have is because of corporate greed. Sure. I'm down with that argument. I get it. I totally accept that. But explain ARC Raiders. Explain the games that have done well. It's because of the fact that you have devs who know what to do, who know how to market their game, who know exactly what gamers would want, because it's what they would want, because they're gamers.
Like, yeah, it doesn't feel like the next
the toxic positivity. Thanks for the two, Lucio. Appreciate you, buddy.
Like a shooter. Like, yes, it's coming from Titanfall devs and Apex Legends devs. That's cool, but it's not Titanfall. So I feel kind of let down a little bit. And I honestly just hope that that's the lesson from this game and Concord and everything else, is that you can have a lot of amazing devs working on something that are very talented and know what they're doing. Obviously, you have to know what you're doing to make a video game, period. But a game that
are you sure about that, buddy?
Takes a lot of talent.
Are you so sure about that? Again, he's going with the obviously there's a lot of amazing devs thing. So 3 minutes left on the video. I think we can, so sick of magenta. I think we can wrap this one up. Throw the link down below if you guys feel like finishing it yourself. You can watch it. A lot of amazing devs. Cool. I always say, anybody who says making games is hard, therefore you shouldn't criticize games, it's like, dude, pull your head out of your ass for a second, okay? Just because making games hard doesn't mean that people are entitled to your money. You could spend a lot of time and a lot of work trying to get better at something, but if you're not good at your job, you're not entitled to my money. That's not the way this works. All right, we're going to skip a little bit ahead just to get into the marathon stuff. Let me see here. Where is this at? Well, we'll kind of preface it with this. I'll play this little clip from ARC Raiders for you guys from Embark's CEO, and then we'll jump into the marathon stuff because it kind of connects. Yeah, Four Eyes yapping. Looks and feels like a slop only Sweet Baby Ink types would make. I mean, that character that they heavily promote, the mixed black, whatever looking mochaccino guy that's got like the high shave with the curly, like Gen Z haircut with that angry Karen face. Like, holy crap, dude. Job's a job. They ain't got no complaints. They're getting paid for real, dude. 100%. All right, so Embark's CEO says that engaging in PvP is against the ethos of ARC Raiders. I actually haven't listened to this yet. It's a 52-second clip. I will say, as somebody who has enjoyed a lot of ARC Raiders, that I think that the mix of PvE and PvP is fantastic. I have no real strong feeling on the idea that they put people based into servers based on aggression. So again, it's this aggression-based matchmaking, right? You look at the dev team of one with Schedule 1, exactly. The modernity fade, yes. Spend a year sculpting a turd doesn't mean people will buy it, exactly. So the thing about it is, with Arc Raiders, they've tried to alleviate the people saying, we only need PvE, we don't want PvP, PvP sucks, we want to do PvE only. So what they've done is they've done aggression-based matchmaking to try to put people in the lobbies based on how you play. You go 10 matches without shooting anybody, they put you in with other people who don't shoot anybody. You go every match shooting people, you're going to be in every server that has sweaty PvPers, right? I don't love that approach, but I accept that it's the alternative to having a PvE only mode, which I think is stupid because it's an extraction game. Just have it be the what it's been. But I guess the CEO of Embark came out and said that the game's core design is not about actively encouraging players to shoot each other. Instead, the PvP element is primarily used to create tension and uncertainty, which I guess that's one way of looking at it.
The game isn't
Hang on a second. Where's he at?
about shooting other players. You can do that
Oh, it's
if
just
you want
audio.
to, but that's not kind of the ethos of the game. Has never been to go in and shoot players. We want that, to your point, you described it really well. It's a part that we use to craft tension and for you to feel like, I mean, the game was without other players for a long time. And yes, there were instances where the game was fun and there were areas where it worked quite well, but also the minute you added other players and then use subtle ways of signaling, you know, you don't know how many players are on the server. You don't know how many players have died. You don't know how many players are around you. But we signal to you that there are other players, that you hear them shooting. That's why audio is a very important part of this game. You hear them encountering Arc and other players. You see the radar flares as they go down.
See, Geek, I'm 100% with you there. That's exactly it. Last night I saw one dude saw me crawling to extraction just to kill me. Exactly, dude. That's exactly it. Yo, Moxie Raid. Welcome in, guys. Moxie, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it as always. I think you're streaming with Leon tonight. Leon? I don't know. I made him sound even gayer than usual. Let me see. Hey, welcome in, B-Man Z. I think it's fair. It's not like Delta Force. No, that's the thing, though, is it creates a sense of uncertainty in the game that a lot of people feel is kind of it's a fun level of tension that it adds to the game. Okay, so I don't understand why so many streamers and so many people who don't want to have any PvP in a game that's a PvPvE extraction shooter are trying to ruin what is essentially the most perfect multiplayer game that I have ever played. I mean, Arc Raiders, I swear to God, kind of has everything figured out, right? Can't take down a queen when PvP is so high. Well, dude, I've never been part of taking down a queen, and I don't care. It's one of those things that it might happen eventually and it might not. PvE literally adds a lot of things. It separates the hardcore players that enjoy PvP and engagement from the players that are more likely to stay out of combat and extract. And see, I get that, Korean. The only thing is, I'm all for them figuring out a way to not have people like, you know, losing their minds demanding we have PvE only servers. But the problem I see with it is people are being so pushy and demanding so many changes to the game. Eventually, Arc Raiders, which I think is perfect the way it is going to lose its own identity. It's going to lose everything about itself that has made the game so good up to this point. And a lot of it comes from the streamers. Say his name with a French accent to make it even gayer. Leon. Oui, monsieur. Okay, so that was the CEO. And so this has led to a lot of conversation, people saying if the devs realized how much more depth the risk of PvP added to the game, why do they have strict matchmaking algorithms that only group similar players together? Again, you're curating an experience for people based on their own playstyle. I don't know if that's the perfect way to go, you know? You like the way it is too? Yeah, exactly. Stop changing shit. If it's not broke, don't fix it, okay? Wouldn't the removal of the matchmaking system make the odds of these interactions organic and less predictable? Yes, and that's the way I feel like it was when the game first launched. And mind you, I jumped in a week or two after launch. Initially, I was like, I'm not going to buy the game. I don't need another game. It's $40. And then I bought the game, and it was all I played for like another month and a half. It was great, right? This one guy here, I'm Bronana, says aggression-based matchmaking is terrible. CEO wants the possibilities of PvP, yet completely defeats that which... with aggression-based matchmaking, exactly. So, another guy, this guy before Reeve says, Arc Raiders would greatly benefit from the complete removal of their matchmaking algorithm. All right, this kind of takes us into the discussion around Marathon, because Marathon obviously comes out very soon here. This guy, I Am Fallout, obviously he likes playing Fallout games, I guess, I don't know, says, while I think there's a possibility that the success of Arc Raiders could completely box out Marathon. How's that a question? I also think it's possible that the hype for one could potentially benefit the other. No. Aggression-based matchmaking. Basically, they put you in lobbies full of people who play the same way you do. I'm broke. I need a hot, rich Latina to fix me. You know, dude, if I had one of those, I'd ask my wife if I could keep her. I wouldn't be sending her to you, okay? Don't they have solos and group games? So, Joe Darkness, what I have noticed, and this isn't because of my playstyle, this is from the moment I started playing solo queues in on multiple maps, not just one map. There are maps that are heavy PvP maps, and those that are more likely to have PvE players. But since I started doing solo matches, most people you run into in solos are super chill. They are super chill. Yeah, if you kill a lot, you go to the PvP heavy lobbies. Exactly. So this guy says, meaning Arc Raiders has shown me that I actually like extraction shooters, so now I'll have another to try out and maybe enjoy, not to mention it has a PvP focus and it's first person. We'll see what happens, but I'm looking forward to it. Well, I will say the first thing about it, Marathon is not going to have the PvE only type people. Marathon is going, based on the gameplay that I've seen, Marathon is going to appeal heavily to the people who just want to kill people. Okay, it's not going to have the element of the casual, the fun, people having like they're playing the instruments and they're running around goofing off, helping, you know, heal people and all this other shit that you see from Arc Raiders. You're not going to see that with Marathon. Marathon is strictly kill, 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 kill. Okay, that's the way it's going to be. Solo players do tend to be mission driven. When I was playing solo, it was because I needed freaking mushrooms. And I'm like, I'm not going to load into a match with teammates who are going to steal the mushrooms before I could get to them. I don't PvP because I'm trying to down Arc. I mean, I'll do some of it. I've killed plenty of people. I've backstabbed people. I've been backstabbed, you know. So this brings us to Marathon. From earlier this morning, they have some new clips coming out, and it says, stretching the meaning of survival, this crew grits their teeth as the final exfil beacon of the match ticks down. This is a 60-second clip from apparently the December closed test tier. Oh, that's loud. See, I hate the guns. I hate the freaking style of the guns. I despise it.
Oh! He punched the shit out of me. Yeah, he did.
See, this is not going to be the PvE experience people are talking about, like with Arc Raiders. Guns just feel wrong. They look wrong.
Get in the circle.
Get in the circle.
No!
Get in the circle. Get in the circle.
Dude, and what is this resolution? This is terrible.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, truth, exactly. Not having all that stuff is nice.
Holy shit. GG's indeed. Good job, guys.
Nicely done.
So they go inside a circle to extract. Okay. See, at least in Arc Raiders, you go and have to find like a freaking train to extract to. It just looks bland. I don't know. Hate the style of everything in this game. Yeah, and when I say DOA for Marathon, I think it'll actually do okay as far as numbers. Probably a few thousand people easily playing it at any given point in time. Could peak around 10,000 even. And if that's their metric for success, depending on what the game costs, then who knows. But I don't think it'll have anything close to the numbers that Arc Raider has. Gameplay and guns are based on Destiny. It's very clunky. Oh, I hate Destiny, dude. I hate Destiny. It's part of the fact that Arc is third person that helps with the chill vibe. Yes, Black Cat, exactly. So that goes back to my point that you're not going to get those chill vibes from a game like Marathon. So saying, oh, but it's created this perception that, extraction shooters can be casual for people like you and me. It's like, okay, no. Oh, God, I just realized this is that Kevin Cool guy that we watched previously. All right, hang on a second. I don't want to... I'm not going to subject you guys to him after we already had to sit through Luke Stevens. All right, hang on a second. Let me just find an article that has this stuff on it instead. Hang on. Because they actually leaked some of the Marathon cosmetics, some of the Marathon store cosmetics and stuff like that. So let me see, Marathon leaks. Okay, here we go. So here is from the game post. They pretty much exist only to cover Marathon news, it seems, at this point. I bet that artist chick cost Marathon a pretty penny. Dude, I don't know if you saw this, but Anti-Real, the gal you're talking about, on Twitter shared that like a Scuff gaming controller stole some of her art for their controller as well. It's like, oh my god, she could just make bank suing people. It'd be fantastic to see. So Marathon leak shows first look at 55 runner skins, including deluxe edition cosmetics, of course. New Marathon leak gives us our first look at 55 skins for all 6 runners, including some skins for the deluxe edition. Set to release in March, Studio released a new vision of Marathon, the Vidoc. We've seen that before. Over the last year, following Marathon's closed alpha, Bungie has run several closed playtests. The latest one took place in December, running from December 12th to 16th. I couldn't get in. I tried. Kevin Cool sounds like an edgy character. Oh my god. He's not. It's very cringe. Nobody, when we streamed one of his videos before a few weeks ago, enjoyed it. Now it looks like we finally have our first real look at runner skins for all 6 runners in Marathon. And honestly, some of them look really cool. You are a website that like exclusively covers Marathon. Of course you're going to say that. Play Escape from Tarkov, there's no friendly play, very PUBG. Well, that's true, except there are times on Tarkov where you have to run into like a friendly person. Like to extract for some of these maps, you'd have to have like a hostile scav with you or something, and extract as a scav and a PMC or whatever. It's weird. I've never done that though. So the images come from a player who took part in the December playtest and later uploaded all the skins to a public website with a downloadable link. That's how the game post was able to access them. We've edited and cropped the images to remove any identifying information. Oh god. That who wants to play as that? Holy crap. Okay, this is boring. Bland. Wait, do we have to go somewhere else? Oh no, they have them all here, I think. Oh no, they're all separate. This one's got 4 skins. This one's got 8 skins. Oh my god, look at this shit. Wow. It's just so bland. 4 skins. Not those kind of 4 skins. 4. Number 4. No wonder the art director quit. Well, to be fair, the art director, I think, had to step down, I would imagine. This has got to be a link to more... Oh, okay, so each one of these, yeah, you can scroll through them. Oh my god, dude. Okay, wait. Here's the thing. With Apex Legends does this a lot. They'll create a skin and then they'll do recolors of that skin. But then they create unique skins. These aren't even unique skins. These appear to be mostly recolors of an existing skin. There's a few where it changes some of the details, but the majority of these are just recolors of the base skin. This is the laziest shit ever. G.I. Joe ripoff toys made in China. Marathon had a unique look. Now they plagiarize some artist that boxes them in a corner and what they can do with the designs. This is nuts. Like, okay, so this is your base skin here for this character. Recolor. This one, not a recolor. It's kind of a recolor because details. Okay, there's a few details different. Fine, we'll say it's a new skin. And then two recolors of that skin. So essentially what you're getting is not new skins, you're getting recolors of an existing skin. Looks like the girl from Chappie, a little bit, yeah. Oh god, this one's such a hot mess. Oh my god. What are they thinking? Hey, Rabnad. Why would you intentionally make this? I mean, holy shit. Yolandi Visser? I don't think I ever watched Chappie. Oh, this character is hideous. Yeah, so again, at least with Apex Legends, at least with other games that are, you know, multiplayer shooters where you have microtransactions and stores and stuff, you have skins that are completely unique, and then you have recolors of those that you can opt to purchase. Oh my god, this is like so ugly. And blocky. It looks like a child's toy. The entire game looks like a Diane Warp musical clip without the music. You know, the person has a bull ring, probably. They take babies' foreskins to make beauty products. It's a global conspiracy. Oh, man. I don't imagine doing that. Yeah, so these are those developers that Luke Stevens was saying was very talented, right? Joe from Seattle says this new gameplay looks like poo from a butt, and I think that's a very, very apt description of it. All right, let's move on because it's not late yet. We could get done here pretty soon. I don't know if you guys saw any of the drama over Brown Dust 2. Full disclaimer on this one. I don't play these kind of games, okay? Now, I say that meaning gacha games, big titty waifu games, not something I play a lot of, okay? I got wife and kids running around. I don't need to be gooning out to some big titty waifu playing some gacha game. So not for me. But there was a big kerfuffle because Brown Dust 2, which was originally going to be coming to Steam, it was having issues due to the fact that there's a lot of, NSFW content in the game. And so Steam was going to restrict certain things that they could have. Then they said, well, we're not going to censor our game. So the game didn't come to Steam. Giggity. I don't either. I just wrote about it. Exactly. It is a weird name. Brown Dust. It's a very strange name, especially when all the characters are white and the game features a lot of backsides. And I'm like, what is Brown Dust? Is that like a farting thing? Is that like a fetish? I play Genshin. Yeah, Genshin's been a big one for a while. Fire Emblem. Oh, Fire Emblem Heroes is a gacha. I didn't know that. Interesting. They're Asian. Oh, I thought they were white. Saw you play the big titty Irish girl game. What was that? Vindictus Defying Fate. That game was garbage, man. That game sucked. It was terrible. Two Girls in Dust. Oh my god. Anyways. Says NeoWiz has officially confirmed Brown Dust 2 will undergo censorship changes affecting multiple outfits, cutscenes, and side content. So yes, this was after initially saying they wouldn't censor the game wasn't going to come to Steam. Then it was, okay, our game's coming to Steam, but now we have to censor it. Announcement followed community speculation and has now been verified through an official developer post. The biggest thing that they were getting rid of was some of the outfits, and I guess there's a butt-slapping mini game. So it's like a drumming game, like a beat rhythm game, and it's upskirting with all the female characters in the game, like playing the bongos on their butts or whatever. I like these anime games where they keep putting them free to play, and there's too many free to play games. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then there's always everything that goes with like the microtransactions. Isn't Ananta the GTA gacha game? Asses to asses, brown dust to brown dust. Oh my god. Seats in public transportation. Yeah, DC literally had a Harley Quinn fart fetish comic. You're right, 100% about that. Yes. I might also play an I mean, yeah, whatever. It's fine. Hopefully no one's eating. I mean, it's late here. I got no, fair warning for you guys. I apologize for that. I have no idea if you guys were having breakfast or whatnot, but yes, I can only imagine what inspired the name Brown Dust. I don't know enough about the game to even have that be a thing. But from friend of the channel here, Wagon Burner, this article on Twitter says Brown Dust 2 censorship, the developers walked back, will offer region-specific clients instead. DeviantArt goes mainstream. Says the developers of Brown Dust 2, NeoWiz, and GamFSN. It's the strangest developer or publisher to even try to pronounce. Officially walked back their plans for global censorship following intense fan backlash. The reversal came after a massive outcry from the community, which included review bombing, refund requests, and players quitting the game in protest of announced changes to outfits, cutscenes, and the removal of a minigame. That was the slap, pop, or whatever the hell they call the minigame. Drumming on the little booties. GTA anime clone, okay. Project director Junhee Lee, I don't know, held an emergency live stream on January 12th to apologize for the foolish action of the initial censorship announcement, admitting that it damaged the trust built with the fan base. No shit. Instead of implementing a global censorship, the developers will now maintain the original uncensored version for most regions. Content will only be modified or hidden in specific countries where regulatory bodies mandate such changes. I mean, the thing is, you're going to run into this with certain countries where, I mean, Saudi Arabia, a lot of the more restrictive ones, there's going to be content in most games that they will not allow. So you kind of are up against the wall in those situations anyways, right? Idiots thought that removing the main selling point is a wise business decision, jackasses. Exactly. My point is, and I said this on Twitter, if you're going to have a game that objectifies women, and that's the main purpose of your game, and I don't say that as in like a negative thing. I don't care if you objectify women, men, whatever. My point is, if the main focal point of the game is objectification plus gameplay, and you take out the objectification, what do you have left? You're completely killing the core, the personality, the soul of your game, if that's what the game is about. The developers initially planned the changes to comply with stricter worldwide regulations and monitoring from platforms and rating agencies, fearing that a suspension in one country could lead to reviews and bans in others. Controversy was partly linked to attempts to align with Steam's updated content policies. Oh yeah, well the problem with Steam's content policies is they've just been insane lately.
Do I need to be liked?
Yo,
Absolutely
Smeg!
not. I like.
Hey buddy, oh you got
being
Maki Sky, you got Patriot, Mr. Hardcore Mode. Hell yeah. Dude, Smeg with the 5 gifted. You know, I've been slacking with these video clips, not gonna lie. Given the topic, I'm gonna play this one for you.
Look at that big ass. Look at that big juicy booty.
Sorry, not the most satisfying one, but I figured it was fitting given the topic that we're talking about currently. Dude, Smeg, thank you for the 5, buddy. Appreciate it, man. So it says controversy was linked to Steam's current updated content policies following the backlash and refusal to compromise the game's identity. The Steam release was reportedly canceled in favor of alternative platforms. Previously censored assets, including skill cutscenes for characters like Raphithia, Rao, and Sai, I don't know how to pronounce these names, as well as the Slap Slap Pop minigame, are expected to remain in the standard global build. I can fix AOC? Yeah. A lot of people probably think they can. So Epic 24th December free game was blocked in Japan, the Callisto Protocol. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Why would the Callisto Protocol be blocked in Japan? And Smeg, thanks again for the 5 memberships, dude. I appreciate you, dude. Was too violent? That's crazy. That is nuts. Maybe it's because a lot of countries have restrictions on how you can show violence or gore, blood, or whatnot. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know enough about Japan's regulations. I know in certain countries in Europe, blood has to be a different color. So it's got to be like brown or green or some shit like that. And it just looks like, excrement or vomit or some sort of like alien entrails. Yeah, Japanese do not like dismemberment. I do remember that from covering Assassin's Creed Shadows with the heavy amount of decapitations and goring and brutalization of like Japanese villagers and shit that happened in that game. It was so shoddy the Japanese got offended by it. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people were saying that the game was pretty crappy, right? So Chibi Reviews, who often talks a lot about like the lolicon kind of stuff, right? And the lolicon stuff I don't even want to get into. My thought is, fictional characters aren't real. So there's that. But also, if you are into that kind of stuff, I would never trust you around my kids. So, 2 things being true at the same time. He says, Brown Dust 2 mentions they bent the knee because of an external force that they did not name. Brown Dust 2 says they took it extremely seriously, which is why they were self-censoring. Seriously, name drop the people doing this to you. We all have a very good idea. It's payment processors, but the community can't help you if you stay silent. If they give you backlash for it, then it's even better for you because the internet will speak up about it. It'll allow a true understanding of the situation. Of course, this is in response to their post about this, canceling the censorship and all that. They could have lied to me if Berserk, Corpse Party, and many other animes that were gorous. I mean, yeah, that's crazy because a lot of anime can be pretty brutal. However, Dead Space is fine. So people will get to play bongos on women's cake? I assume so. I would assume so. I don't know. That's as far as I can tell, that's what that means. Visa, very likely. It could be. I don't know. How the hell is Steam worrying about censorship? They really have X-rated games on the platform where they freak out over Japanese games. Black Cat, it is a mystery. It is a straight up mystery,
Absolutely
man.
Not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked.
2 words for these lolicon people. Wood chipper.
Woo! I say again, I do appreciate that. It makes me chuckle. I'm not going to pretend to understand why people would be into certain things. But yes, like I said, I wouldn't trust them around my children. But hey, 16 months, dude. Holy crap, that's awesome. Man, it's been a long time. All right. You get something else. What do we have here? Oh, here we go.
We're all homos. Homo sapiens.
Oh man, I don't think the audio on that one worked. Damn it. Why didn't the audio work? I'm so pissed. Hang on. Let's try this again. We need the audio.
We're all homos. Homo sapiens.
Oh, you heard it? Okay. I didn't hear it on my end. That's the craziest part. It worked? Perfect. All right. It didn't show up on my end, so I had no idea that it actually worked. I had to switch to monitoring the audio. Anyways, I should have played that when DB Wild was here. He would have appreciated that. All right. It was a bit quiet. What about the second time? Quieter the second time? Oh my God. Well, that's probably because my desktop audio is turned down. That's probably what that is. All right, let's see. Going off of this, talking about that, someone says, I agree that lollies should be more censored, but the adult waifus, no. Chibi says, censorship never stops at what you dislike. It's a slippery slope that has proven it'll strike everything. This very mentality is why censorship is allowed to get worse. Like I said, I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. So apparently Asmongold had a take on the whole lolly thing, because that was part of the censorship of Brown Dust, as people were talking about this character who obviously seems very childlike. His response apparently is, I don't think it should be illegal, but I think it's weird. So here's Asmongold's response to that.
Absolutely, that's a huge factor. Now, I don't think that it's necessarily like, if like a girl has a lolly avatar, I don't think it's really always a big problem or a huge issue. But I do whenever the character is being sexualized. So, and also keep in mind that even if the character isn't being sexualized inside of the context, you're going to see a lot of the fan art and everything that is sexualized. Of course, that's true. Is that bad? I mean, I think it's weird. Like, I don't think lollies should be illegal, but I think that it's weird. And I think that's a very, very fair analysis and like a fair like position to have, that if you want to get involved and you want to get attached.
I mean, the same could be said about furries and stuff. If you were a furry at home and nobody had to see it, and you didn't have parades out in the street where you're dressed up in like your bondage gear and your dog mask and shit, and you were into that kind of stuff at home, I would have no way of knowing. Should it be illegal? Well, you shouldn't do it in public, in my opinion. Is it weird? Hell yeah, it's weird.
And like attracted to like fucking, you know, some like weird 2D lolly character. Like, I don't necessarily think you should go to jail, but like, I don't want you babysitting my kids either. Let's be honest.
Dude, he straight up said the same thing I've been saying for like months about that. That is amazing. Oh my God. That is incredible. All right. Yeah, exactly. No, you know, you can do whatever you want, but I won't let you babysit my kids. Exactly.
Like, if you knew somebody...
No, he doesn't have kids. It's an example.
Characters like that in anime, would you want them babysitting your kid? No, you wouldn't. Really, like, that's the bottom line. And I'm not saying that they're a weirdo. I'm not. But I'm going to talk about the furry thing again. If you took two circles and you made a Venn diagram between the general population and people that wanted to fuck animals, and then you took the same two circles and you took one of them and it was the population of furries and the population of people that wanted to fuck animals, the Venn diagram between the furries and the animal fuckers, the circles would be closer together than the Venn diagram with the general public.
What is he saying? That these... I'm not going to say it. I was going to make a goat fucker joke, but I'm not going to say it.
That's just the way it is.
Pre-watched.
But it's still not the same circle? Do you want to take that risk with your kids?
Presents are the best way.
Everybody talks about this stuff as if it's like a theoretical
thing that you can.
That's the thing. It's not theoretical. There are people out there who really like that.
This many dollars worth.
I'll say it again. Wood chipper.
Dude, yeah, I wish DB Wild was here to see that drop an ass. Smeg with the 5. Say it again, wood chipper. Man, that's... Yeah, you know, here's the thing. I know that Asmongold has actually said this before, and it's funny because he's like fairly liberal and open-minded. Society has a lot of people that we would be better off without. Now, I'm not calling for obviously getting rid of in violent ways a certain group of people, but maybe putting in mental institutions or some shit, because there's a lot of messed up people out there that are just a drain on society. Not gonna lie. On the plus side, my kids are not goats. I'm not even gonna touch that one. Make asylums great again. But then Korean Cowboy, see, my problem with that is then who decides who's crazy? And that's kind of like red flag laws for guns. Oh, well, what's a red flag? How many guns are too many? And then it's like, now you're getting in the middle of all these conversations. It's like, in theory, all these things sound great. But then it's like, who's in charge, right? Who's in control? Oh, man. What else have I got that I haven't played in a while? Korean Cowboy decides who's crazy. There you go. Exactly. Ooh, I don't think I played this one yet. Hang on a second.
I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I can do it. Yeah, exactly. Everybody wants to be the person that determines who's crazy and who's not. This is just from on Twitter. I don't know this video. I don't know when this was recorded. This is just on Twitter. If you go to Asmongold's replies, he replied to the person that posted it.
But the moment that it comes down to brass tacks, rationality and reason take priority.
Smeg, you didn't miss it. That's going to be the last thing we talk about.
That all these
You're here right on time.
Pedos. I don't think that they are. But it's weird.
I mean, so Asmongold has a lot of like normal takes, and people give him credit for being like super based, and it's like, no, he just honestly says what majority of people are thinking, right? He then said, important context to add is I'm discussing sexualized lollies specifically. Having a childlike chibi character is fine, and there's nothing wrong with it, but if you're sexualizing, I think that's kind of weird. Again, totally normal take, I think, to have. It's like, yeah, I mean, the art styles. My daughter, she likes to draw chibi characters. That's not weird. You know, she likes to draw the little cutesy characters. She's done that in the past. Once you take that and you take it somewhere that it's not supposed to go, then it goes to a whole different level. Exactly. The UK game about combating online extremism. You know, Equilibrium, I was actually going to play that on stream, but I had to cut down so many topics tonight. There was like, you know that there are weeks where I struggle to figure out what I'm going to talk about on a stream because I just feel like there's not enough. I had to cut off the Tim Sweeney, CEO of Epic, and PC Gamer lying about what he said about like internet censorship and privacy and stuff online. I also cut off a huge bunch of stuff about Arc Raiders. And then there was, of course, other stuff like the British game that I didn't get to talk about either. Yeah, UK is screwed. So honestly, like, this was a busy Monday. There was a lot of stuff I could have covered, but unfortunately, time is of the essence. So going into Asmongold off of this other stuff, him commenting on like the brown dust censorship, he's said that he's considering doing less politics to make decisions this year. Says if things keep going in this deranged, you're not even having a conversation, not accomplishing anything when only people who watch vids already agree with them preaching to the choir, right? I think that's a fair take to have. When all you're doing is regurgitating talking points that your audience already believes and you're not going to convince anybody, this is why I don't do the whole debate me bro shit, okay? Again, we have topics. Cage, you know we have topics, right? Found an open box PC for cheap on lunch break. 175 FPS, 1440 Epic, everything on Arc. That's awesome. It's not weird to sexualize them, but subjectively wrong. He needs to actually say that instead of weird. Well, right. I mean, the response people always have to that is it's not a real person, not a real child. If it's not based on a real child, it's a fictional character. You can't hurt a fictional character. And while that might be true, that you can't do any harm to a fictional character, it still says a lot about you as an individual. And that's where it's, again, you get back to that whole I'm not going to let you around my kids thing. Problem with a lot of anime and manga enjoys is that they downplay the lolly stuff. It's a big chunk of the media in Japanese. Straight pedo BS. I mean, yeah. And so, oh God, don't even get me started on the word pedo, okay? Because if you ever go online, on Twitter especially, of all places, because, you know, there's no such thing as a nuanced, rational conversation on Twitter. Kind of like what Asmon's saying, you're preaching to the choir. People already have their opinions made up, right? A lot of them don't even look young, just flat. Well, I think now we're talking about where this gets into interpretation, you know, based on what you're looking at. So it just depends on the person, I guess. That being said, if you straight up, okay, let's, for example, I did a community note today One guy pointed to Sydney Sweeney, who's 28, with her boyfriend Scooter Braun at 44, and said basically it's a pedophilic relationship. Okay? Of course, it needed a community note because there's no way in hell you could even consider that pedophilic. Pedophilic means prepubescent, typically attracted to children younger than 13, haven't gone through puberty, they're still adolescents, right? There are terms for people who are then attracted to people over 13 but not 18. Like there's sick motherfuckers everywhere, right? There's going to be there's a term for everyone. The problem I have is, in my mind, if you call somebody a pedo, I think it's anywhere from, infant to 12-year-old that was abused. You tell me somebody's a pedo, but it's a 25-year-old dating a 17-year-old. In my mind, even if it's legal, because Washington State 16 is the age of consent, I'm going to say that guy's a creep, a perv, a sicko, whatever. They're technically definitionally not a pedo. So the problem is you lose a lot of nuance online when you're using exact terminology. People just kind of like lump things into categories, and you go, a 25-year-old dating a 17-year-old, well, I would look at that as gross, and I hate that it's even legal in my state, is not the same thing as the 25-year-old being attracted to a 10-year-old, But again, it's just one of those, my wife's older than me, let me go call her a pedo. Exactly, yeah. But people do that. If you in any way try to say, well, no, it's not the same thing, because people automatically start calling you a pedo. It's like, what the hell, dude? If you're all above the age of 18, then it's all legal. And there you go. That is why I wish nobody would date at all before the age of 18. And the reason we choose 18 is because you have to put a number somewhere. You have to have a boundary. You have to have a line that you just don't cross. So as long as everyone just waits till they're 18 to do whatever, problem solved. But people don't do that. The women like to dress as lollies, and I'm talking about the adult women. Well, now you're talking about like the OnlyFans cosplayer type chicks and stuff. So, what's weird to us is normal to others, and that is true too. And I know you're not defending it, but again, definitely there is a cultural difference. Absolutely. Increase it to 25. I'm okay with that. That's cool. They call you shit you're not because of the label, not because it's true. Yeah, exactly. So that's my little take on that, though. Increase it to 65. Why not 69? Oh my god, I forgot to have this. Of course, that probably didn't work. Let me see. Do I even... Wait. Do I not even have this set up? Are you kidding me? Did anybody hear the boing? Because that should have worked. Yeah, I'm not hearing nothing on my end. Read the last comments. From you or from somebody else? By that logic, does that make the housewives reading Milking Farm okay? Because when it's fixed... I mean... No sound. Oh, none of those are working. Oh my god. And I just got this set up before the stream too. Damn it, Stream Deck. My Stream Deck is in the process of crapping out. All the LED buttons on it, they have lines just like going through them constantly. Like nonstop. It's crazy. So, no sound at all? Damn. Wah, 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 wah. Maybe Shank has a better view than these Most countries at 16. Yeah, Washington being one of those states that's 16. I think California is probably 16. Most states, I think, still in the U.S. are 18, but unfortunately, we ain't found shit. Great movie. Cultural difference, but also lack of knowledge about it too, because literally most people know furries because of the sexual shit. Yeah, no, exactly. That's a big part of the problem, because that's like a large part of the focus. So getting back to Asmongold, there's been a lot of people spurging out about him because a lot of his takes. Asmongold, if you look at like the metrics, is blowing the shit out of people like Hassan. Hassan, who's like, anyone who gets their political opinion from Asmongold is lower than cattle. And of course, you got this guy here saying ever since this guy got called out for electrocuting his dog, he's been spiraling nonstop. I'm sure you guys have seen these on Twitter. People have been doing these splicing the 4 images together. And so this one is, of course, Hassan, Pikachu, electrocuting Kaya. Yeah, Hassan sure is one to talk, right? So getting back to Asmongold and what's going on today. Apparently, this has been making the rounds for the last 24 hours. This is a post that's got probably 10 million impressions at this point now, from somebody who I imagine probably has all of 100 followers on Twitter. Oh no, it's a she, her transgender with 45,000 followers. That's crazy. Okay. Aggressively discusses NSFW topics. Oh boy. Oh, and they have an art account. I can just imagine what kind of art is on their morally dubious art account. Okay. Says, if you ever feel unlovable, just know that Asmongold somehow managed to find a girlfriend. And if that subhuman cockroach can find love, you're more than capable. All right. You can have your opinion about Asmongold, and that's fine. That's whatever. Okay. Then we started seeing stuff like this. Oh, look, Asmongold is pulling a dark side Phil, being in his 30s with a barely legal, quote, girlfriend. All right? That one's not even alleging anything illegal. Well, it's alleging things that are legal, but it's not implying explicitly that, he's with somebody underage. Then you have this brilliant dude here flexing in his profile picture as if he's hot shit, saying, oh, and he's not even spelling Asmongold correctly because he doesn't want to pop up in the algorithm, apparently. Says, Asmongold, unless he's saying he's a Nazi, thy assmold, a.k.a. Asmongold, being a millionaire, couldn't even maintain a relationship with 2 sex workers, which one of them was of questionable age at the time as well, right? For Tango followers, that's a weird one. That is a very strange one, because Frit likes to meme on people, and I actually like Frit. But following that person, I'm like, that's certainly a choice, right? Burner account, most likely. Yeah, probably. Hang on, I gotta fix my microphone here. There we go. So now they're all alleging that he was dating somebody who was underage. This post here that this person responded to and says, it's bad when Abe Lincoln is shitting on Asmongold. They sound so certain. It's crazy, right? Definitely a reference to the SS from Germany. Yeah, probably. This person's like, it's bad when Abe Lincoln is shitting on Asmongold. Why did he say Abe Lincoln? Well, he said Abe Lincoln because it's a meme account that uses Abe Lincoln as a profile picture and as their username, right? But the post has been deleted by the post author. Now, you'll see why in this Asmongold clip, why they deleted the post. To be honest, I'd have to check because I can't remember the exact username of this person. They might have nuked their entire account because a few hours ago, Asmongold saw it and posted this right here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and play this clip right here. Let me make sure the volume's loud enough.
So basically, there's a post. This is a person. It's like saying, this is actually crazy to say about somebody, right? Crazy to say. I'm thinking I'm already in a lawsuit, right? I'm already regularly talking to lawyers. Maybe I.
So in case he doesn't say what it says in the post, it says he was 33 and she was 17. Asmongold is a pedophile. Now, again, not defending weird age gaps in relationships when it's somebody who's under 18. If it's legal, however, and it's somebody who has gone through puberty, you cannot be a pedophile. Just straight up. And that's as somebody who, if my daughter was 16 and some 30-year-old was praying around, I would either put him in the dirt or make it very clear that he would end up in the dirt if he came near her. I'm not condoning the kind of relationship, but it's just technically wrong. It is technically the wrong terminology to be using, accusing him of being a pedophile if somebody's 17 years old. It's just not right, okay? It's factually wrong.
Should sue this guy.
So I'm going to have to give this a big context. Normally a post like this with 100,000 likes would be career-ending for most streamers. In 2024...
Who's in the lawsuit? Him and Emaru are being sued by Mizkif because they both talked about the abuse that Mizkif allegedly, took out on Emaru when they were in a relationship.
Asmon did a couple of streams with Kaiser. She has been a streamer on Twitch since 2018 and an adult content creator for years, way before meeting Asmon. After a couple of months of streaming with Asmon,
they nuked their account.
Posted this on Instagram with the caption,
"Happy birthday in advance to me who is 18 every year."
She also immediately pinned and hearted this other comment to avoid any confusion because, of course, the implications would be insane given she has posted adult content for years before this.
Now, here's what I want to know, and I know that Asmon's not like some ultra right-wing conservative, America First, SSHH kind of guy where he's like white nationalist skinhead kind of thing, LARPing as a Catholic trad, whatever. You know the types, right? He's just a normal dude with liberal leanings who's sick and tired of the bullshit in his country. But it's crazy to me that he's always like hanging out, it seems, with like the OnlyFans girls. I just don't see that as being like the type of women. But again, I don't know the guy. I barely watch anything from Asmongold. It's typically just like his clips that get shared around online, right? Yeah, no wonder that person deleted their shit when he got plushies thrown at him. Yeah, exactly. This was them poking a jab at Zach. Enough retarded for the day. Enough internet. Have a good night. Yeah, you have a good night, QC Jerks. Absolutely.
But someone still went and changed her famous birthdays page using that date, the same page that basically says she started full-time streaming when she was 12. What's amazing is that we had the same thing happen last year. I'll let you guess from which community this came from.
Asmongold.
Oh, they actually have an audio for this. Okay.
Laughs at the attempt from haters on Reddit, accusing him of dating an underage girl, Casey, who is a streamer and in her 20s. Those allegations were proven false pretty quickly as the age didn't match up. I do have to point out that the accusation was levied from an obsessive Hassan fan. That subreddit and their mods allow this type of environment to attack Hassan's perceived enemies.
I saw this, bro.
That's insane.
People love writing fan fiction. It is crazy. And to me, it's really funny for me to see this happen. They just run out of actual stupid things to complain about, and now they write out fan fiction as well.
I love Asmon's editor. The clips are fantastic, you know? Was this found on Wikipedia or Reddit or the same thing? Never mind exactly.
Give this a lot
Save
of
alimony?
attention.
You're not
It's
wrong
just
there.
Bullshit. But yeah, Sonorbers, yeah, it's just, I don't know why you'd make up bullshit like that. 122,000 likes about me being a pet.
Okay, that's another thing too. 122,000 likes. How is that even possible? Okay. I feel like this is one of those times where this has got to be bots. I don't know. To me, that just seems like unrealistic. Allegedly, he's a Russian, went by Cat Danny. Who are we talking about? The editor? They love writing fan fiction because they are living in their fanfic. That's how we got to where we are today with these people. Pretty much Korean Cowboy. Yeah, I think it's bots.
That's pretty crazy. And then you also have, by the way, the person blocked me. And I hate Asmongold, but what's the proof of any of this? Yeah, even people, we just make stuff up now. That's a serious accusation to tweet with no receipts. But you guys don't, by the way, I see some people saying the age of consent 17. Listen, if you are my age, if your age starts with a 3, you don't need to be dealing with anybody that's 17, okay?
I mean, right there, based. Exactly what we were saying before. If everyone just waits to date, fool around, do anything until you're at least 18 years old or older, and then if you're that age, don't go younger than 18, there's zero problem. Like nothing, you know? What a great time to tune in. Hey, Matt Adam.
I'll talk to my lawyers next time I have a meeting with them. Then I'll see kind of what their input is, right? It's so cringe to see something like that happen. But unfortunately, that's just reality.
What's also reality is that Honest Abe here is going to make money from this post. But oh, would you look at that? His account is fully verified. Do you have any idea how easy it is to subpoena a Twitter account? See?
Yeah, this dude is screwed. This dude is legitimately screwed. If he chooses to take legal action against him, Twitter, if you're a monetized, verified account and you've signed up for like the monetization program, they have your ID. They have all of your, they got your banking information. They have your driver's license. He's based in the US. They've got it. If he subpoenas this, holy shit. Oh my God. Yeah, this one was titled, "This is serious and I must address this now." That is crazy. Imagine having the balls. Here's the thing. A lot of people do this, where they're like, you wouldn't have the balls to say that in person, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I get it. There's a lot of times people say things online. I'll do it. I'll post a meme online that's really offensive, but it's funny. And it's like, no, of course I wouldn't say that to a person to their face, because in person, I try to be a decent human being. So if it's stupid to be like, well, you wouldn't say this in person. Of course not. You know, I'm not a complete asshole. I like being an asshole online. But to actually be able to say that, to put those words, like type those words up and post it somewhere, and think that somehow one of the biggest content creators on the planet, who's got more money than God because he doesn't spend his money on shit, wouldn't take legal action against you. Does he think parody accounts a shield? It doesn't matter, Valiant Goat. That's the thing. It really doesn't matter. Parody or not, stating it as fact is not a parody. I mean, he clear. Look, I've still got this brought up here. Look. Why are we playing this for? Why are we going through our video clips now? Come on, man. If you just look at the way it's phrased, it says, hang on, let me move this back over here. Why isn't this moving? I'll just do it by hand, whatever. He was 33 and she was 17. Asmongold is a pedophile. That's what they state right there. Like, it's insane. It's insane that you would actually type those words up and put it out there and not even, I don't know, man. Delete his account real quick. Yeah, it doesn't matter because Twitter has all the receipts. They've got all of it. I know it doesn't matter, but does he think so? No, he doesn't think so. Well, and that's what I'm saying too, because again, you can find age gap of 33 and 17 disgusting. I certainly think it's gross. Like I said, if some 33-year-old, my daughter is almost 11, and when she's 17, 6 years from now, some 33-year-olds come sniffing around, I already told my daughter. I've told my daughter multiple times, and she doesn't quite get it yet. But I told her, and my wife already knows. I'm like, you get one free shot, one free, essentially for her, get out of jail free card. I'm like, I can only go to prison one time. Never been there, but I can only go there one time. So in this instance that somebody hurts you, somebody does something terrible, and you need daddy to come, take care of something, I can do it once. That's it, So I would say if my daughter was 17 and some 30-something-year-old came sniffing around, I'm like, yeah, maybe that'd be worth it. By the time she's that age, I'll be mid-40s. Okay. Whatever. Most stuff is saved 2 to 3 years, and in some case, they never delete it. Yeah, exactly. My dad's 85, my mom's 69. And see, that's the thing, too. As long as they got together when they were legal adults, who cares? It's going to put them in a bag financially, exactly. Real parody, but Asmon reacts to his own lawsuit after. Imagine that. 100 million YouTube views per month. That's crazy. Also, Asian girls, especially for some reason, as they get older, some of them don't look like they aged at all. No, it's like Asian women and black people in general. They say black don't crack, but black women a lot of times too. It's the weirdest thing, And because I'm short, whatever, man.
Presents are the best way.
Whatever. We all know I'm short.
How much you care.
That's one of my best features.
It is like this tangible thing that you can.
My mom's 69.
Say, hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
In my opinion, it falls under libel. I'd take that person to court if it was me. No wonder they deleted their account.
Well, and sorry, Smeg, I'm still laughing about my mom is 69. Oh my god. Yeah, no, Smeg, 100% agree, and thanks for the 5, buddy. I 100% agree. I think that's one of those situations where Asmon, he's got infinite amount of time. He streams during the course of his day. He doesn't have to do anything when it comes to, discovery or this or that. You pay your lawyer who you already have and say, hey, file a libel suit against that guy. Show the judge this screenshot. It's slam dunk. It's seriously, it's like no skin off his back whatsoever at all. Asians seem to not age until they're 50, and Latinas get a glow up in their 30s. Yeah, Geek Hazu, I'm dying. Like, that might be the funniest shit ever. Like, bro. Anyways, my mom and dad are 20 years apart. And for some people that works. My my in-laws are about 10 years apart. I think somewhere within that 10-year ballpark. And, as long as you're not like one of these situations where it's like some mid-20s to early 30s guy dating some like 14-year-old and say, oh my God, I'm sure if you guys have probably heard about that guy who's like a singer or a rapper or some retarded Gen Z thing, that he was dating some girl who was like 14 and he was in his late teens or early 20s, and he ended up murdering her, putting the body in his trunk. They found it decomposing or something. Just nuts, 7 years for your folks. Hey, for some people an age gap works. My wife and I are 1 year to the day apart. So really easy to remember birthdays in my house. We got the twins' birthday, wife and I share a birthday, and then my oldest kid has his own birthday. So we have 3 birthdays between 5 people. Makes it pretty easy, although celebrating is kind of weird. That's dark. Yeah, no, D4V did. Yes, David, I don't even know how to pronounce his stupid name. But yeah, I don't know how old he was, but all I remember is that the girl was like 14 or 15. And for a while, he was claiming innocence, and like they hadn't arrested him yet, but I think they arrested him like a week ago or some shit like that. Pretty weird. Like just weird, gross, creepy stuff. All right, I think we got through everything. That's crazy. Like I said, I had to take some stuff off the docket because there was just way too much, like so much going on. Let me see. Why does it say that Moxie is still streaming? That's not right. What the hell? Let's refresh this and see who's on. What happened to the Dr. Disrespect claims? Really nothing. So, one more hour. No, man. No, I have to drive up Seattle area tomorrow, pick up some stuff for work. No, I'm not staying up another hour. P. Diddy, you mean? Yeah, there's a lot of overlap. So, Geekazu, here is the long and the short of what has been actually said by Dr. Disrespect and by people at Twitch that were trying to, like, you know, pin as much terrible stuff as they could on him, right? Oh, excuse me. Doc was messaging back and forth with somebody who at the time was not 18 years old. No pictures, no videos, nothing illegal. Nothing illegal, nothing criminal, nothing actionable. Questionable jokes. He says that there was no intent to meet physically in person, that there were some jokes and some comments that crossed a line. They also never specified whether it was even a girl. It could have been a boy, which makes it weirder. So, oh yeah, no worries, Wagon Burner. You keep it up, I'll keep using them. So yeah, like I said, am I going to defend Dr. Disrespect? Of course not. I have no reason to. I don't know the guy. But is it as bad as people were trying to make it out? I mean, look, people, didn't they pay Doc in the end? I think they just settled. I think it was just a settlement. Yeah, I don't think there was, I don't think there's anything, but is Doc a creep for cheating on his wife? Most likely he's an ex-job. Yeah, no, there's plenty of stuff to criticize Dr. Disrespect for. But people were straight up calling him, you know, a pedo without actually knowing the person's age, without knowing the context, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know, if you were messaging some kid that was 10 and you were being gross, then sure, you would chip her, 100%. If it was a streamer, because you got to remember, this is the problem with Twitch. This is the issue with Twitch. Twitch has, you know, be 13 and you can stream, right? Be whatever it is, whatever the age is. And that allows big content creators, small content creators, people who are up and coming to, you know, interact behind the scenes because they're all on the same Twitch payroll. And unfortunately, it creates a situation where you're going to have interactions between people of various age groups, and it's a recipe for disaster. So in that context, I'm like, he might not have said anything explicit, nothing with any intent to meet the person in person. But if you're messaging back and forth, joking with somebody who's on your same platform because you're both streamers, and it's like he might have looked at her and been like, oh, okay, yeah, she's hot, whatever. And then he might not have known, oh, she's 16, 17. Oh, you know, would he have felt differently if he knew her age? Did he know her age? Was it even a girl? This is information we never got. Yeah, no tragedy, but still weird. Exactly. Yeah, they know pedo accusations is the best to use to take people down. We need a town crier in every corner yelling that to say. It's true. If he was indicted, okay, cool. Yeah, I thought I heard something about him actually getting indicted. Yeah, so it is what it is. Like I said, nothing there for me to defend the guy. He doesn't need me to run to his defense, and I don't know all the details, so nor would I try to defend him. He's been on YouTube since he got canned on Twitch. He's been on YouTube for a while. He lost his monetization on YouTube a year ago, and then he had to wait to reapply, and then he got it back. So he is currently monetized on YouTube. I'm pretty sure he also streams on Kick. And then watch one of these days, Twitch will have him come crawling back, I imagine. He might be on Kick. I'm pretty sure he is. But yeah, Smeg will put you in charge of that one of these days. You'll hire the town criers and you can judge their ability to scream wood chipper. Oh yeah, I think he got a Rumble deal. That's what it was. I couldn't remember.
Presents are the best way.
Dude, I gotta figure out why these sound alerts aren't working.
It is like a tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man,
maybe voice mod's not open.
This many dollars worth.
Wood chipper. Doing my part.
Wood chipper, exactly. Time for 76. You know, man, it's really funny. Fallout was another one of those topics I could have covered tonight, and a lot of people have been talking about. And, you know, as somebody who didn't really play the Fallout games, I have no opinion on the games themselves and how well the show is actually, like, honoring the games. A lot of people are mad at the show, really pissed off at Fallout, because they're like, oh, you can tell these people that made the show hate Fallout New Vegas and this and that. I'm like, I don't know. Whoa. Hello. Yikes. We're just going to exit out of there. Oh, crap. Hang on one second. There we go. Hear Myself was turned on for some weird reason on the voice mod. Yeah, first season was watchable. The ending was a little weird with the mom becoming a lesbian. Wait, what? The mom became a lesbian? They do hate New Vegas. Bethesda's extremely petty. Fallout really fell off. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, so what I was checking was why these sound effects aren't working. Oh, there we go. There we go. The one I needed was this guy right here. No Fallout spoilers? Oh no, I won't give you any spoilers. No. Season 2 is fine so far. It's fine. It's decent. It's whatever. Oh. I didn't catch that, geek, but it's been a while since I watched the show. Interesting. Okay. No, I've got this one ready, though, so next time one of you makes a corny-ass joke, I got this guy ready. All right. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that either. I didn't see that. All right, guys. I'm going to peace out. I don't think I'm going to bother rating anybody right now. There's only a few people streaming, and they don't need my viewers. So, play the game before watching the show. It's too late. It's too late. I've already watched every episode so far. But yeah, I'm going to hit the hay. You guys have been awesome, as always. I will catch you guys probably in a few days. I'll try to work on getting more videos done in the meantime. I think the wife and I are going to record some stuff for the podcast channel for real this week. She's been talking about doing that. So probably breaking down more of this Stranger Things crap because the documentary just came out. So she's probably been watching it in the other room. Oh, thanks, Abyssian. Appreciate it. Yeah, YouTube, Lithian, Equilibrium, Truth, Geek, Smeg. Oh, Diversity, yeah. Black Cat, of course. Who else we got still? There's probably a few of you lurking in the background that I forgot about, but Korean Cowboy, all you guys, Cage. Now go play the game. I'm going to go to sleep, man. Like I said, I got work shit tomorrow. Got to go to work. All right, Avernum. Have a good night, buddy. I am going to get out of here. Oh, and Lugia, of course. How could I forget you? I didn't know if you were still here or not. You guys humored me early in the stream with my poor Spanish reading. Honestly, I can actually do a decent job when I really want to. Although I don't understand 90% of what I'm saying in Spanish, though. Hi, Rabnad. Have a good night, buddy. Appreciate you. Heard too much of that shite? Well, you know, Smeg, it'll be on the other channel. It won't be for a live stream, so you don't have to watch the video. What I want to do, I'll just say this real quick while I'm still sitting here. What I want to do is I'd like to get where her and I can sit down and, like what we wanted to do when we first started the channel, is record for like an hour, a couple different topics, maybe upload it as one quote unquote podcast. And then, you know, her and I can segment it out into like a couple different topic segments, whatever. So that'll be the plan. And if we can actually make that work tomorrow or Wednesday night, I'm going to try to record some stuff with her for the secondary channel. And I'll keep doing what I'm doing on this one. All right, I am out. Peace out, guys. Have a fantastic week. Stay safe. And I will catch you guys very soon.